Son of a bitch. Do it. Okay, hold on. Is this better?
That is
better?
That is better.
Okay. What if does this sound better?
Distorted but loud.
Wow. Was that how loud?
No, very distorted.
Okay, good. I gotta stop sucking dick. Okay.
Yeah, it sounded like you were sucking the mic off.
Oh, I literally was. If this were a video podcast, that would have been a very good visual gag. But again, I'm never doing video until passive pays bills. No. And even then, I might have to put a number on it.
Yeah, that would be like that would be a giant tier to get that one. To get that one going.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, Patreon. No, I'm joking. There's no Patreon. Just it's gonna 404.
We haven't even. Oh, we're recording right now. I didn't even realize. Hi, hello. Welcome to Passive Pixels.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, you said the intro now. I'm not gonna worry about it then. Look. At this point, look, it's not. I would stop if I was annoyed by this show, but it still is very fun to pretend like I'm annoyed by it. You know what I mean? So like if I if we just start it rolling the entire time, fuck it. The sooner we start, the quicker we get into it, right? Yeah.
No, I agree. I didn't realize we were recording, and I looked over and I saw the red flashing light. I'm like, oh shit, we're going. Because I was gonna say, like, why are you talking so much about the Patreon? Because like we were not even recording, but then we were recording. So yeah, patreon.com/passivepixels. Click it. It won't exist, and donate some money.
It does not exist. Just send the money directly to me, and I can assure you, none of it is gonna get to Dorian over here. Like zero. None of it. Yeah, absolutely not.
As a Canadian citizen, I'm not allowed to accept American bribe money. So yeah.
No. Actually, what will literally happen is that I might actually charge Dorian more just to ship stuff out to him if you guys pay me. Like that's going to be a tier as well.
Well, no, one of the tiers actually is going to be the $5 a month tier that I have to pay to keep being on the show. So
if there's a high enough tier, it'll be to kick you off of the show.
I'll donate to it.
All right, list. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Bloodborne. Oh god, yeah, Bloodborne. I'll get back to you, I swear. Aftersun, end of Evangelion. Oh my god, dude, I honestly feel like between the tendies to this episode, it feels like it's the longest break we've taken. Just probably since I took that month off.
It was long, yeah.
That 90s show, Golf with Your Friends, Majora's Mask, That 70s Show, Drive, Hi-Fi Rush, Skyward Sword, and Tar. Dorian, what's your list?
All right, we've got the Nonary games, Virtue's Last Reward, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, Final Fantasy VII 1997, Dead Space 2023, The Last of Us, the TV series, The Third Man, The Lady Vanishes, A Man Called Otto, Missing, Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, Scream 2022, Schindler's List, Infinity Pool, Tar, and Odd Taxi.
I want to give you the ball right now because I don't know what you want to do there. Like, do you just want to get that out of the way? Are we actually gonna? Am I getting out my lawyer degree again?
Well, Weeb trial is tradition, right? So of course, I feel like we do have to start with Weeb trial.
All right. Okay. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Look, no, you don't understand. Okay, the court system has gotten a lot worse since you've been gone. Okay, so what you guys don't understand is that. All right, come on. Okay, what I'm saying is that the courts have gotten a lot less unfair. So go ahead, tell us how you feel about this, okay? And I can tell you right now that it might not go so good for you.
All right. Well, let me start. I want to say a little preamble at the start here. All right. First of all, I have very good representation, as you know. Mr. Saul Goodman actually represents me in all my personal matters. Well, hold on. Let me finish. He usually represents me in all my personal matters. I have dismissed Mr. Goodman.
Oh my God.
He is not representing me. Your Honor, I am pleading guilty. I am not trying to defend myself here. I am gladly going to accept my execution. That is it. This is the end. And before I go, I would like to explain my atrocities, not defend them. We gotta.
No. Okay, we can't. Okay, no. But if that's not going to happen, it's just.
I'd like to explain my atrocities, and I want to make something very clear. I'm not going to try convince anyone that this isn't Weeb. I'm not going to try convince anyone that this is something that you should watch. I'm just explaining why I had the experience I had with this show. So let me give you a little bit of back. Yes, I'm at the bench. Here we go.
Okay.
Odd Taxi is an animated series, an anime in Japan. It was released in 2021, around there. 2021. It's done now. It lasted 13 episodes. It was April 6th, 2021 to June 29th, 2021. Look, I was bored one night and I was on the Weebs of the Corn, or it's not Weebs of the Corn anymore. It's fucking Backlog Brainrock Discord, I guess. I should start calling it that. So I was on that Discord with a bunch of weebs, and once again they were having the conversation of, hey, which anime would fucking Ed and Addie like, or I think you were mentioning that I butted my head in there, and then they started talking about me, which I always find that conversation funny. And it was Connor that's like, it's funny. There's one I know he would like, but he would never give it a chance because the second he Googled it, he'd say no because it looks like furry shit on top of anime shit.
Jesus
Christ. Let me finish my conversation, please. I'm guilty. I admit it.
Look, I'm already here just telling the firing squad to choose whatever ammo type they want at this point, okay? So just continue. Just fill up the time they need to figure out which box they want to grab.
So I Googled them, and the first thing I see is this giant animated walrus. And I'm like, oh my God, like, are you fucking kidding me, Connor? Like, yeah, this is the most furry shit I've ever seen.
Okay, hold on. Is it a sexy walrus?
I mean, I think all walruses are sexy, to be fair. So,
okay, fair point. But I mean, like, okay, no, actually, I'm going to look this up because what's it called?
Google Odd Taxi. Yeah, Google Odd Taxi. It should be the first thing you see is that fucking walrus's face.
Okay, we are incognito right now, okay?
Yeah, you should see a walrus face with the Odd Taxi text if you Google it properly.
Okay, you see, I was really thinking that, okay, if you tell me there's an anime about a walrus, you would make me think that it would just, like, they would try to sexify a walrus because Japan knows they know no taste.
No, for sure. I think walruses are just sexy in general. They're a beautiful animal. Anyways, so I Googled that and I'm like, yeah, fuck off, Connor. I'm not watching that. And then he's like, but then he posted this like giant list of like everything that I hate about most animes, like sexualizing, like all the fucking tropes I hate. And he's like, literally Odd Taxi has like none of these. So I was like, all right, I'm going to watch a fucking episode. Why not? I'm bored. 13 episodes. I blew it through it pretty quick. I mean, I like it. It's good. Here's the thing with it. It's it's different from most other animes I've seen in the sense that it's a self-contained story. It's 13 episodes. They're not doing any more. They don't care to do more. It's done after this. That's it. It's over, which I appreciate. They're not trying to, it doesn't feel like, I mean, the anime didn't do well. Like everybody who's seen it seems to really, really, really like it, but it's not like super popular amongst the weebs, which I appreciate because that makes me feel a little bit better at least. And there's just something, the way they tell the story is very similar in some, to me, this show is like if you took BoJack Horseman and you made it a murder mystery. And that's really what the show is. God. It's about an
What is it about the Japanese and murder mysteries that get you?
I just love the murder mysteries. I do. But it's not just Japanese. It's murder mysteries in general. Like I like the Knives Out movies. I've always appreciated that genre. So I love murder mysteries.
I'm going to pause you for a second because you are all saying this, and there's one word in my, not even word, I guess one idea that keeps floating in my mind that I keep thinking, murder mysteries got you to sin like this. And I'm over here thinking if there was ever an anime that I'd go out of my way to watch, it would probably be Initial D because you know what is my simping object that's in that? Cars.
What's that? Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, everyone's got something that they fucking simp for, right? So, I mean, if it's done well, I've never even heard of that one, but I don't like cars, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, I've heard that it's so fucking nerdy about cars. Hold on. I'm going to find a meme because it is one of the funniest things that's related to it, where you might not know that is Initial D, but when you see it, you're like, oh, that's where that meme is from. But continue. I will keep looking this up.
Yeah,
while you
keep
space.
looking, and I'll keep going.
Mm.
But yeah, so basically, it's like, but what I just like it because one of the reasons I like BoJack Horseman so much is it's about like it's just his fucking depressing ass life, and him schlumming around, being fucking depressed and kind of getting through, and making a bunch of bad decisions, and that's kind of what Odd Taxi is with the fucking murder mystery attached to it. What stunned me the most about this show, though, was so, and it's not exactly like I don't want to say it's a TV trope or something like that, but I'm a big fan, and it's funny about this because it was just this literally just happened to yesterday on the Last of Us episode. I'm a big fan when TV shows kind of do a self-contained episode where it's kind of a side character or a character you haven't seen before, or they're just kind of in the background, but you haven't talked to them a lot, and they dedicate an entire episode to that person and kind of show you where they're going to be in the bigger picture and kind of explain their origin, that sort of thing.
One
I
shot
don't know if
story.
there's an yeah, exactly. And they did it in this fucking anime, and I was shocked. I was like, character development? What? Excuse me? You're explaining like what this is, like what this character has to do with the story, and they give him this really cool fucking backstory that's unique to Japan, basically about how he gets fucking addicted and his life gets ruined because of these stupid fucking gotcha games. I'm like, oh,
What?
yeah, like literally his entire
Oh,
backstory is him having a fucking gacha game addiction to the point where he gets fucking suicidal and wants to fucking kill people. I'm
uh,
like, okay,
oh, that is so
it's
okay. That is so fucking
interesting.
Japanese.
Oh,
What the fuck?
it's very Japanese, but I just didn't expect them to be shitting on it, the idea of it. So it's very it's just it was not what I expected, and I liked it. Now don't get me wrong. This show, I'm not I it wouldn't be in my fucking top 20 TV shows of all time list. I'm not saying that. I don't love it. I'm not in love with it. It was just good. It was just thoroughly enjoyable. And the ending, one of my I mean one of my biggest complaints about the entire show, what it's fucking spoilers, like I know you don't care, but I don't want to spoil everyone in the audience. um
I Jesus Christ.
okay,
I
you know what, I'm gonna go into spoilers in a second, but
no. It's not about you. It's about the fact that apparently you like the anime enough to respect it and not
well, it's not, it's
spoil it.
yeah, I mean I like it, it's such a big deal to the plot of the story that I wouldn't want to spoil it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. So, anyways, if you have any more generalizations to say it. Otherwise, I'm going to go into spoilers because I want to mention this.
I just look, man. I thought that I was gonna let the firing squad handle it, but like, nah, man. They're gonna need another person on the line for this one. I can't. I'm sorry. Continue, but like,
All
oh
right,
boy, we getting prepared over here.
all right. So 3, 2, 1. The animals are all actually people. So what I really appreciate about this is, so one of my biggest complaints about this show, and why I like BoJack Horseman again so much, is with BoJack Horseman, it never feels like furry bait or anything like that because they're just using the fact that they're animals as kind of like a comedic gag, and it makes it funny. And there's just it's able to tell the story in a unique way, which I appreciated. One of my complaints about Odd Taxi, funny enough, was like, there's no reason these fuckers need to be animals. Like, I'm like, I understand, like, the art style's nice, it's cool, but this really, like, I don't want to say it's furry bait, but like, there's no reason
It's
for these
anime.
people to
Come on,
be,
you could say it.
there's no people for these people to be animals. Like, I just don't understand. Like, they could have basically they could have done more with it. Like, they have these really cool designs for a lot of them, and I'm like, they're not making jokes about it. They're not really using it at all to their advantage. Turns out at the very end of the story, the main character, the guy's the walrus, the taxi driver himself, he's just fucked up in the head, like completely fucked in the head from like an accident, earlier trauma, and everybody made fun of him as a kid because he looked like a fucking walrus, and he just sees people as animals. And the entire time we've been seeing these people from his perspective, and you slowly over the final episode, it kind of sheds the image, and you start seeing people as humans, and it's really fucking cool. And I'm like, wow, that's actually interesting, like the fact that you made that have some payoff. Really good long-term storytelling over 13 episodes anyways. So yeah, it was good. It was enjoyable, it was fun, it was a murder mystery, there was lots of things I liked about it. I mean, there's still some things that aren't perfect with it, But as far as like the usual tropes that piss me off with anime, it was pretty low, um, to none. And the intro slapped hard. I hate the fucking how animes they have the intro, then they have their extra music, they add the exit music, and they always do that stupid little thing in the middle of it that signifies the halfway point of the episode. I don't understand why they do that.
Commercials.
The exit music is probably the most weeb anime bullshit song I've ever heard in my life. I hate it, so I just skip that every time. But the intro music slaps hard. It's like this kind of weird, kind of Japanese rap vibe music that I really liked. It was good. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm guilty. So yeah, I'm guilty of sin. I'm not going to actively seek out any more anime because even Connor himself told me there's really nothing like this in terms of other anime he could suggest. And the only other one he would recommend is like fucking way too many episodes. And I was like, yeah, no, that's never going to fucking happen.
Okay. You know what? This intro.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, so that's it. That's all I have to say. I am guilty, though. I gladly accept my execution. There was no defense for my behaviors and my crimes against humanity. But that's it.
All right, here's what I'm going to tell you, okay? You know why you can condemn just Japan for furry bait? That link that I just sent you, Beastars. I don't know what this is. It actually kind of makes me sad I know it. Every single time that I recognize something anime, it's like, God damn it, I still know some of this, okay? But as time goes on, I'm slowly losing all of my knowledge about the new shit, thank God. Even just periphery knowledge is like, I don't want this in my brain. But what I will say is that...
That meme is good, by the way. That meme is good. I've seen that.
Oh yeah, no, that okay. So of course, people, the meme that I am talking about, right? I looked up Initial D King of the Hill, and someone photoshopped Mr. King Hill. They photoshopped Hank Hill in his truck drifting along a bend in Japan. And the meme says, "Now, Bobby, I don't condone street racing, but that darn Fujikawa kid needs to be taught a lesson, you hear?" So it's a great meme, and I think only after this meme did I learn, oh, that's from Initial D. But yeah, Initial D, super fucking nerdy about cars. If there's any anime that I'd ever watch of my own volition and not being paid, it'll be that one. And to be fair, I don't really remember which friend told me that I had to watch Full Metal Alchemist, so if I can just delay that until like I'm 60, I might. Anyways... Dorian, it was a good, let's just say 48 episodes, because I don't really want to go back and count. It's been a good 48 episodes of you being on the show. Are there any final words that you'd like to let the audience know before I end up hosting the rest of the show with your corpse?
No, I regret... Well, I was going to say regret nothing, but that'd be a fucking lie. I regret everything. No, just, no, just kill me.
All right. Am I actually going to go through the trouble to find gunshot sounds and put them here? No. So I'm just going to put a bullet in my wall. Give me a second, everybody. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'd have to be a lot more richer to do that. That would actually be fucking hilarious.
That would be funny. You can gag, but definitely not worth the cost.
Oh yeah, no, like I would shoot my left monitor just so I could have an excuse to finally buy that PlayStation TV that they released during the PS3 and use that as a monitor.
Good old PS TV. I'm surprised you don't own one.
I've looked at it, and I keep thinking about it. Like, it looks kind of cool, but like, I'm set with my 3 monitors. I'm not really gonna use a fourth No, sorry, I'm not gonna use a 5th monitor because technically my PC is connected to my theater room TV. So that is the 4th monitor whenever I want to cast things over. So like, I can't have 5 monitors being driven from this PC. So,
but you could record the show in 3D.
I could record the show. Imagine 3D audio. We'd have to license it out from Jim Ryan himself.
It's stellar. All right, well, that's all I have
I'm
to say.
judging you out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, score-wise, normally score TV series would be like a 7.5 out of 10.
That's in anime terms, that's like a 15 out of 10.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm talking so highly on it, because it's so incredible for anything I've seen from an anime. So yeah.
All right, now we're gonna do this really early. You count up how many you have. I have
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 18.
I have
a bit more 12. Okay, so actually, let me bang through Scream then, because that's 17, 16, 15, 14. That like almost evens us up. So yeah, let's do Scream. So I saw the trailer for the new Scream movie, and I was like, hey, you know what? I've only ever seen the first Scream, so let's watch these movies. and I'll rewatch the first one, and we'll go through them all, and we'll see how they are. So we started with Scream, 1996 by Wes Craven. This is a rewatch. Haven't seen it in ages, though. Great fucking movie. Just a classic slasher movie. It's perfect. It's in what it's trying to do, how meta it gets. It's just Wes Craven being very smart and ahead of his time as usual. Great cast. David Arquette, Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, Skeet Ulrich. So many great people in this one. And yeah, it's just a really, really well-made movie for the time. It's perfect. It's a great time capsule movie. It gives you a great idea of the 90s in general and kind of what they were going for with this movie. But yeah, big fan of this movie. It's great. Second time watching it. So lots of praise to heap on it. Thank you for finding me that Steelbook. I already pre-ordered that off of Amazon America. Glad they're reprinting it.
Do that.
And I can get the 4K copy. So very happy about that. Yeah, great. I mean, Scream. It's Scream. It's classic.
That steelbook, that actually is a really nice steelbook, but it also was really nice rare. So
yeah, I'm glad
that you actually got you got an actual good reprint. Yeah, that never happens.
No, it's usually just the shitty Sony ones.
Scream. Hey, there's a good movie. I love. Here's the thing. I'm not a huge fan of horror. I mean, you are way more. Okay. I know people hate the term elevated horror, but if most horror wasn't shit, we wouldn't need the term. So I enjoy Scream because I enjoy that it's very self-aware of making fun of itself while being still a good slasher movie. I don't know if there's anything else I can say because I don't really think about Scream outside of, oh yeah, I should go watch the rest of the series. I totally told myself I was going to do that in October, but like many of my plans, they don't happen. So yeah, Scream. Hey, there's a good movie. What's your favorite scary movie out of 10? I'll watch the others at some point. That's all you really need to say about all of this.
Perfect. All right, I'll just keep banging through them. It's an 8 out of 10 for me, the first Scream. 4 out of 5, I should say. Next one, Scream 2, sequel. Really good sequel. Just smart, well made, leans into the fact that it's a sequel. Again, some good meta shit. Brings back most of the cast or the important ones. Has a good story. Has a good end reveal. I mean, it's not quite as iconic as the first one, as it's tough because the first one's, the first one doing it very good. But as far as sequels go, really solid movie. So definitely enjoyed it. If I'll rank all the Scream movies after, but this was my second favorite. It's just as far as horror sequel goes, it's about as good as you can expect from something like that without actually surpassing the original. They just did a good job. So very good movie. If a small step down from the first one, so it's a 3.5 out of 5 for me for the second one.
There's actually one thing I will say now that it comes to mind, considering that Scream has the meta-ness at its heart, I feel like Scream 2 will bang just because there feels like there has to be a lot of material for, we had a good horror movie and now we have to have a sequel because of all the money. Like, it feels like there is so much good content there that it's like, oh yeah, that's perfect. While if you try to cap it to, well, I mean, you're going to talk about it with Scream 3. I feel like Scream 3 is obviously would have a harder time with more of meta shit, considering that, Halloween has like 17 movies, Freddy Krueger has like 40 billion, and then Jason currently is still making 5 movies every hour. So like, I don't really understand. Whenever Jesus, shut the fuck up. Shut up. That's you, Max. Shut up.
Calm.
Buffo, it's okay. Okay, look, you have to understand, I don't really care about horror, so I'm gonna pick on it. Scream 3, I can understand if it would end up being weaker because there might not be enough material for, the trilogy, blah, 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 blah. Continue. That's all I need to say.
Yeah, and you're absolutely correct, because Scream 3 is the worst out of all these movies. It's just, honestly, it's just boring, which I think is the biggest sin against it. It's just boring. The idea at the start is very solid, has a really good opening, but everything after is just boring. The plot feels like I just heard recently it was like rewritten at the last minute and like they had to change some things, and that's partially why it sucks, but I guess it's a different writer too. But yeah, they didn't do a good job with it. Good idea, but they try to make it like, I mean, Scream's always meta, so that's kind of fun, but they make this one really meta where they have actors playing like actors from the first movie mixed in there, and it just gets,
oh yeah, the Stab series.
Yeah, the Stab series. They really start going into that in this one, and it just doesn't work. The end reveal is not really that good either, so it's a little stupid even for horror movie standards. So it's not like the worst piece of crap I've ever seen, but definitely wouldn't rewatch it again. So that one's like a 2.5 out of 5.
Shout out
And
to
Scream
every
4,
movie having like a big reveal for their killer and then
yeah.
realizing, oh shit, do we have to do that for every single movie? Oh no.
Yeah, it does. It's an interesting it's interesting the way they do it, and they do start having some fun with it, especially with Scream 4. Scream 4 is actually great. It bangs hard. It's right back up there. I think I prefer 2, but I'm not surprised at anyone who would prefer 4, because 4 is very creative. It's funny. It's 10 years later, so there was a bit of a gap. They can bring in some new characters and have some more fun with it. And they just do a really good job at like kind of poking fun at itself. So they kind of get back to what made it funny. The script's really solid. The end reveal is fantastic, and it bangs. It's just fun. So 3.5 out of 5 for that one. And then finally, the Scream reboot, which was just recently directed by Matt Bettini Olpin and Tyler Gillett.
Oh, I
You
love them.
from Ready or Not. Yeah, I know you're
Oh,
a fan.
oh, you really? Oh, I was joking. I didn't know who the fuck those people were.
Yeah, no, they directed Ready. They directed Ready or Not.
Oh, shout out. Good for them.
Yeah. So yeah, they're doing Scream and then the new Scream. This is fine. This is fine. This is like, so if my Scream ranking is Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 4, and then obviously Scream 3 last. This is after Scream 3. This is ahead of Scream 3, but behind the rest of the Screams. My biggest complaint about this one is I feel there's just untapped potential on the table, because again, with how meta Scream gets and how silly it gets, you're doing a reboot of a movie like 20 of the that's like so old in the 2022s now. You could have had so much more fun with this, I feel, with that concept. And they poke fun at it a little bit, but they don't go as far as I would have liked them to go, I feel like. But it's solid. Like, it's not a bad horror movie. It's fine. There's some good performances. Jenna Ortega is really great here. And I think she's going to be a focal point of the new one, so that'll be good.
Oh,
And they bring
good.
back some of the old cast members too. Some of the motivations, I'll say without spoiling anything, of some of these characters are really stupid, but I mean, that's just typical horror shit. So it was enjoyable. It was fun, popcorn fucking horror flick, but not up to the standard of the well, besides 3, the originals. So solid movie. Hopefully they can get a better crack at it at the 6th one, which I'll see in theaters, because I've enjoyed all these movies enough, which you don't usually see with horror movies. Usually, like, I mean, besides 3, which is mid, but you usually just see after the first one, maybe even the second one, it's all downhill and they all suck. But the fact that there's some consistent ones here that are actually somewhat decent, definitely an anomaly in the horror genre, and they're just fun slashers, so can't go wrong with that. But
I said,
yeah, the Scream reboot's a 3 out of 5.
I said, oh god, because I just imagine Jenna Ortega basically being the oh man, what is her name? Uh, the Jennifer Lawrence from X-Men, but for Scream, where it's like, oh shit, you got a whole lot bigger. Now we're gonna give you a whole lot more focus. I don't know. That is an unformed statement. My brain isn't thinking properly. I just made that connection, and I'm thinking, I wonder if Scream 6, Scream Harder, will have a harder focus on her just now that they know she's bigger.
Yeah, it definitely kind of seems like it might from the trailer. So that would
Wait,
be
oh wait, oh wait, no, oh wait, oh we're on 6 already. Oh, okay, no, I
yeah.
meant 7.
Yeah, no, Scream 6. Yeah. No, Scream 6 is done. It's in the can. It's coming out in April, I think. So
They're gonna re-edit that shit just to give her more focus.
probably she's the big thing, especially after Wednesday now. She's huge right
Yeah.
now. So all right, I'm gonna bang out one more here, and then we'll be even. Just because obviously we're not going to talk a lot about this. It's the Last of Us TV series. We're going to be doing a special episode, obviously, on that entire thing. Once the
Explain
series
to the
is
class
done.
why we're not doing weekly.
I just couldn't commit to a specific time. Like, I just couldn't
You
commit right
whore.
to after the episode every Sunday. I just didn't want to get in a situation where I'd miss one or two. So I was like, okay, no, it's just not worth it to do it.
I tried to
if
give you a
that's the
ring
case.
and you couldn't commit, you bitch.
But yeah, so we'll be doing one for the entire series afterwards.
And
I
maybe
love it.
maybe the game. It
Maybe
might
the
just
game
be
too.
all
Yeah,
bundled together.
bundled together. I love it so far. I think it's fantastic. But obviously, I will talk more about it then. For now, I just leave you with the fact that Neil Druckmann is God. Thank you very much. All right, your
I
turn.
am sharpening my blades so fucking hard for this show. And there are already, like, just me not even watching it, there are like 2 or 3 things that, like, I am like furiously like starting a fucking fire with 2 blades where I'm like, oh, you changed that, huh? And that's not even me having watched the show. This is runoff information that has gotten to me, and I'm just like, oh, when we get there. Oh, when we get there.
All right,
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
yeah, Puss in Boots. Yeah, good movie. Good movie.
Hey, that's a good movie right there. Hey, I've watched. I don't remember. Why is this on the list here? I remember. So you remember how I told you I missed like the first 15 or 20 minutes when I went to go watch this in theaters? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend, he be sailing, but he don't have a boat, if you know what I'm saying. And he has a thing called a Plex server. The man invites me out onto the water from time to time. There we go. I think we've gotten enough of phrases out the door. Anyways, I saw it on there and I was like, oh, well, I didn't watch the first 15 or 20 minutes. I was logging my parents in to all of my streaming services, and I logged into my Plex account and I saw that Puss in Boots was there. I was like, oh, you know what? Let me watch the first 15 or 20 minutes. And then that was done. And I was like, whoa, that is actually very well animated. That was very creative. Oh my God. That's a visual showcase. Good job, DreamWorks. You haven't been this impressive probably since How to Train Your Dragon, at least visually. And then I saw my parents were into it, and I was like, well, you know what? They love it when I'm around. They love having this baby here. Let's just watch the entire movie. So I watched it again, and I was like, hey, you know what? That's not a bad movie. Now, I didn't include the movie again later on the list. I think I watched it again 2 or 3 days ago, but I wasn't really watching it because like I don't really like the movie enough to watch it this many times in close proximity. My brother-in-law, because pretty much, well, I mean, one of my brother-in-laws, this man, he doesn't really watch movies, and he was just like, I saw clips of it, and I was like, I have it here, I can just show you it. And he's like, okay. And I don't know, if there's one thing, there's now, I've gotten to the point of nitpicking. I don't think the bear and Goldilocks needed to be in the movie. I feel like you could have just cut them and reworked some of the stuff, and it would have been okay. They're good. They work. You could have just cut them out. It's okay. Maybe they're good, so you can revisit them later on. But like,
You
you
really
could
just
have just
want
cut
to
them.
like
It's
piss
fine.
Buffo off with every single episode now, don't you? Like that's your
Oh,
sole
you were
goal. Is just
right.
Buffo
Actually, I
seething.
forgot. Yeah, that's Florence Pugh. I forgot. That's Mrs. Buffo. I'm so sorry. Buffo. If I have to explain myself, Florence Pugh, I would have loved if she was still included in the movie, only cut out so then she could still receive her money and her payment. Okay, I apologize. I did not mean to insult her talent or anything. I just feel for the pacing of the movie, you could have just cut them out, and it's okay because whenever I'm watching the movie and we go back to the Bears, I'm like, yes, you're fine. You really only push Puss in Boots out of the house at the beginning of the movie, and that's pretty much it. After that, you guys have your own story that doesn't ever really connect back. It's good, but let's just shorten the movie up a little bit, okay? Because like this movie could have been a way harder 80 minutes than 100 minutes. Anyways, but that's pretty nitpicky because it's still a good movie. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. That's a good movie out of 10. That's it. I'm not even gonna go that much more negative.
Yeah, no, I really love this movie a lot. It's one of my favorite animated movies I've seen in a long time. That's not from Ghibli. I just really dug this, specifically out of DreamWorks Animations. It's actually made me probably, if anything, you'll like it
Please,
because
please,
it's made me, yeah, it's made
please.
me want to
Yes.
watch How to Train
Yes.
Your Dragon
Yes.
sooner.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Oh my
that's a good
god.
thing from it.
Oh fuck
I probably
yeah.
will get to that eventually. But I don't like. I mean, whatever. You probably could cut out Goldilocks and the Bears. I don't know how important to the story they are, but they made me smile and chuckle, so they can stay.
I mean,
I just want to smile and
that's the
chuckle.
thing. They just really push Puss in Boots out of the cat house. Like that's it. Like that's important to the plot. Everything else tends to be their own stuff. And then sure they kidnap the dog at some point, but you could easily just cut that out. Like that would have been fine. You could have had Soft Paws go do something else. It's okay. There's a way to rewrite it. Like there's 12 bakers that I'm not going to mention that because it's actually pretty funny. But like there's 12 bakers there. Okay, you could have just done that. But it's okay. I accept this is really nitpicky because I've probably watched this movie too many times in close proximity. But yes, oh my god, Dorian, please, please, oh my god, just I'm on a How to Train Your Dragon high right now, okay? Because a good friend, Herb, he sent me a video about the musical score, about the beginning of the movie, and how like it's actually brilliant. And when I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, this video is good. I kind of want to watch the test fly scene in the movie. And what I remembered is that, oh yeah, the last time that I watched this movie, I watched it with my wife. I specifically have to keep the volume lower whenever I'm watching a movie with her because she's like, it's too loud. So I watched it earlier today as loud as I wanted, and I was like, oh my god, holy shit, this scene is fucking incredible. And in case if you need to be reminded of this, Roger Deakins had he had a hand in the cinematography, which is why the flying scenes fuck so hard. So you might want to hurry up and get there because holy shit, man, this movie is insane. Even just watching that scene, I love that there's a certain moment where the camera is following the Hiccup, the main character. It's following him, and you're like, oh, this feels like a natural spot to cut. And then it doesn't, and it just follows him. I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking hot. So yeah, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. My new rating is How to Train Your Dragon better out of 10. But then again, that's an evergreen score for a lot of stuff.
Puss in Boots is an 8 out of 10 for me, and How to Train Your Dragon is on Netflix, so maybe soonish.
Oh boy, do that before they start cutting out passwords. Your turn then.
All right, let's go. I mean, honestly, this probably should have been at the start with Weeb Trial, but whatever. I was already guilty, so we'll talk about the Nonary games, Virtue's Last Reward.
We can't shoot a ghost, goddammit. We can try.
It's true, you could try. You could just like piss on the grave, though.
Noted.
I actually started playing this game during GDQ. I needed something to play on my Steam Deck, something like I always do this when GDQ's on, like it's always on constantly 24/7. I'll be like on my laptop or on the TV, and if there's just a run that I'm not as interested in, I'll still watch it, but then I'll kind of half watch and then half play my Steam Deck. So that was the plan. I always have a game. And this one was, this was Virtue's Last Rewards. This was the sequel to 999, which I played last year. I really, really just solid, really great visual novel game. If you like this sort of style of game, you're probably gonna like it. Just lots of branching paths, lots of time fuckery and figuring out like who's what and kind of how it connects to the first story. They did a really good job with that stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. My biggest complaint about it, honestly, is it's a lot more weeb than the first one. Like there's a lot more like weird pervy jokes and stuff like that. That's just fucking annoying. I don't know why they kind of went in that direction, but they did. It's weird too, because there was like almost none in the first game, but I don't know. They had to change that, I guess, to fucking appeal to the fucking weebs more. But taking that stuff out, the actual base story itself is really cool. Lots of cool sci-fi shit. And yeah, I had a good time with it. Really, really great stuff. So as far as VNs go, like a lot of people have this as like, their favorite of all time. It's not close to that for me, but I'm gonna sneeze, I think. All right, there we go. Took like 2 seconds.
Damn it! I was hoping that your actual sneeze would have come in, so then my joke. Now my joke one is staying in there. Now because the timing was too perfect.
Yeah, keep your joke.
Damn it! I hate it because like I'm hearing this, I'm like, perfect. I'm gonna cut this during editing, and then I do something like, oh shit! Now I can't cut that.
The wind-up was like a good 4 seconds for that one. But yeah, no, it's not that good for me, but it's solid. Like it'd be in my top like 10 for sure. So really good stuff. I enjoyed it. It's a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to say is that I really hate it whenever you bring up these games, because whenever I'm editing and adding timestamps, my brain goes, what even the fuck is this? I need to Google. I need to actually just copy and paste the name so I don't spell it wrong or anything like that. I hate it. That's it. That's all I can say, because I don't really care about anything else out of 10.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, your turn.
All right, Bloodborne. Oh boy! Oh my god! This game is
great streams. Some great streams. Ed.
Hold on. I just realized that I haven't talked about Bloodborne at all. So like I'm starting base level here.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's weird to think about. I thought this was an update. Jesus, it really has been a long time since the last episode. Anyways, Bloodborne. There's a lot to explain here. Oh my god, oh my god, this has been going on for so long that I actually have to talk about that Weeb that I meant to buy their PS4 Pro off of. Oh my god, dude, time is a flat circle. All right, story time, everybody. Bloodborne. Okay, so not even last September because it's 2023 now. Jesus Christ, September 2021. Oh my god, this took forever. My PS5, my Death Stranding PS4 Pro, and my network switch just died. Just fucking died. I don't know what it was. It wasn't a power surge because I don't even think the power went out of my house, but something fucked up, and all three of these devices just died on me. My PS5, I sent it off to Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan spit on it once and then sent it back to me and said, "Here you go." And then it just worked. I don't know what he did, but his spit worked. I bought another network switch. I just threw away the old one. My PS4 Pro, the Death Stranding one. The problem is that I specifically needed a late model PS4 Pro to fix it. I took it to You Break I Fix. It's a local place. I don't know how local it is. It might be a larger chain. I don't know. I took it to this place. I said, "Hey, fix it." Skip forward like 10 months after these fuckers tell me, "Yeah, we'll get back to you in a month." And I just go and pick the shit up. I just like whatever. They handed it to me. They couldn't even fucking close the casing right. I could have just kept this PS4 and fixed it myself with the complete bullshit that they handed me. I took it home. I alcoholed it. I tried to clean it up as nicely as possible. They basically told me the HDMI port isn't a problem. The actual motherboard itself and some of the components that handle video out and audio out are fucked up. So, cue another like 14 months. I don't care if that's accurate, whatever. Another 14 months or so of me needing to fix this PS4 Pro, just slowly shopping for another PS4 Pro that I can just harvest parts from, right? I'm trying to keep my cost at 150 because that's what I was going to pay for the repair anyway. So, finally, I find a guy who is selling a PS4 Pro for 150. I tell him to take a picture of the ports on the back. It's the right model. Late model 2018 and after PS4 Pro 7215B, I think is the model, something like that. I go and meet this man. He's on a motorcycle. And I get one foot out of the car. This guy points to his motorcycle and says, "Hey, look, bro, it's my Weebmobile." And every single alarm in my brain just goes off, and it's like, leave. Leave. Do you really want this PS4 Pro that badly? Leave. And the problem is, it's been however many months. It's been more than a year since I've been able to fix this thing. I just want this thing fixed already. So I take another foot out and I just sigh and grumble and look to the ground, just like, I can't. This man, I believe, is on a watch list because the next thing he asked me, "What, you don't like hentai?" I wish that I could have just gotten hit by a bus. I wish that cops would have dropped down from the non-existent ceiling because we were in a parking lot. I wish they would have rappelled down from a helicopter and arrested both of us. I would have dealt with going to prison for a little bit if I knew it meant that this man was no longer on the streets. And all I can muster out of my voice is I just can't stand anime. And then this man replies with me with just the final corn piece of this shit Sunday. "What, you don't like Genshin Impact?" I should have called the police right then and there on this man. In like 10 seconds, this man has told on himself so hard. I hope this man gets castrated because we don't need people like this procreating against a woman's just consent, okay? Anyways, I finally did it. I took the PS4 home. I wiped it down with Clorox wipes in the garage. And then I cleaned this thing as well as I could before I took it inside my home. I ripped it for pieces. I was able to fix my Death Stranding PS4 Pro. I even upgraded my Spider-Man Pro. by putting in the power supply of this fucking dirtified PS4 Pro. I was able to take out the power supply. I put it in the Spider-Man Pro. It runs even better. So both of my PS4s got to benefit from this. Why did I mention this entire story? Because I needed a legal PS4 and then I needed a hacked PS4. The Spider-Man Pro is my legal one. The Death Stranding one is my hacked one. I hacked it so I could play Bloodborne at 60 FPS. This is a long road but we're finally here. I'm not going to talk about the entire hacking process. All I will say is that it was easy. It was actually shockingly easy if you're at the right firmware. Anyways, Bloodborne. Bloodborne is a weird one because I like the combat. I don't think I understand the combat yet. The dodging mechanic isn't what Elden Ring was. I feel like I should say what most of their games are like, but let's be honest, I haven't played Dark Souls 1 since like 2012. Dark Souls 2 I haven't touched, Dark Souls 3 I haven't touched, Elden Ring I have, and then Sekiro. Like that was a couple of years ago, but that feels like such an offshoot that it doesn't even feel relevant. So the dodging isn't like Elden Ring. Elden Ring, you got your dodge rolls, and that gives you iframes whenever you're in the air, so you can just kind of dodge into attacks sometimes. Bloodborne, whenever you lock onto an enemy, it doesn't dodge roll, it sidesteps. So this is completely fucking the way that I already know how to play, and I just haven't gotten used to it. I'm 6 or 7 hours in. I think I stopped right before a boss fight until like every other interest jumped me instead to pull me away. Look, I'm gonna come back, okay? I swear. Like the game is interesting me enough. The problem is that I want to play this game only on stream. So like a lot of times I'm playing and getting through things off stream, but considering that this is a stream only game, it does limit how often I want to play. But yeah, like that dodging mechanic is really screwing me up. That and the parry mechanic. I don't know how to read the parry mechanic yet. I don't know if, is this an attack that cannot be parried, or did I miss the timing to parry? And I don't know how to properly read between those two. So I would say the trinity of this combat is parrying, dodging, and actually attacking. I've got actually attacking down. I'm fine there. Parrying and dodging, though, I don't know, man. I don't know. So that's at least that. Let me talk about the art style. The art style is good. It is nice. For some reason, it is not doing what it does to everyone else, where people are like, oh my god, look at this, holy shit. I'm looking like, this is very nice. It is different. I'm not losing my mind over it. It's like, this is nice, but it is not pulling me as much as it does everyone else. I can't really remember the music. What I will say, though, is that the design of this game is great. I love any single time that you have just... I almost... Look, it's going to come up later with Skyward Sword, but like, I love the design where you will go a place and before you know it, you've circled back to a place you already recognize. I just really love that. So Bloodborne has that in spades. I love being able to find a ladder, kick it down, you go back down, it's like, oh my god, I'm right at the beginning. And then I just kind of go under my breath, Miyazaki, you devil, you. So the design is great. It feels like every single time that I get lost, it's because I'm stupid. It's not even the game. Like, I was getting pissed off at one of the last locations that I was in, which I think was like Old Yarnum or something like that, where I go up a ladder and it's a shortcut that takes me back to the beginning. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I got lost on the way back and I'm like, damn it, I don't know where to go. This game's fucking stupid. I go back to the ladder and then I realize on the right side is an alleyway. And I'm like, oh, I'm just an idiot. Okay, cool. This isn't the game problems. I'm just an idiot. 60 FPS. I guess I should talk about that too. Yeah, it's solid. I can play the game. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I dropped it down to 720, 60 frames. It kind of jostles a little bit around 40s at the lowest. Yeah, no, that's fine. I feel like, considering that I went all the work to hack this thing, I'm going to probably push myself almost to the fucking end of Bloodborne to make it worth it. But yeah, Bloodborne. Boy, I don't. I'm. This is not going to be the first game on this list that is going to have me going, oh man, this is going to be a bit of a. I'm kind of hoping it's not a drag to get me to the end, but I want to get there. So yeah, Bloodborne, your turn.
Yeah, so Bloodborne, my experience of Bloodborne is not super long. I played it how long ago would have this been now? Probably like
Game came out
5
in
years.
2015. So
2015. Okay, so it wasn't right away for sure. It's probably around like 2016, 2017 I tried it.
same actually.
Something like that. I made it to Father G. I beat Father G, and I was like, I'm good. The combat it didn't feel enjoyable enough for me to want to keep going with it. I beat him, and I just didn't feel like it was worth it for me to keep playing. I love the art style. I think the art style's gorgeous. That was easily my favorite part about the game. I was like, oh man, I love the gothicness of this. It feels great. I love this world. It's the closest still a From game has come to drawing me in, but it just could not do it for me. So I don't think their games are for me, and that's fine. I don't have to like every game. So I think I'm good. I can't maybe I mean maybe if it went to 60, if they ever officially release the 60 FPS patch, I'd try it again. But I'm playing the Dead Space remake in 30 FPS right now, so I honestly don't think that's a big deal
And
breaker for me.
the thing is that the 60 FPS patch, it's not really like about 60 FPS. It's just about making sure that it can stay above 20.
Well, yeah,
consistently.
that's true. That's true. It does run like shit. Even on regular, like with the regular release.
Even
Yeah,
on the
it doesn't.
PS4 Pro.
Yeah, no, it doesn't run great. So that is true. That is true. But yeah, so but yeah, Bloodborne. I mean, I get it. I think it's like I said, closest it's ever come to drawing me in. It's just not for me. So
Yeah.
that's all I have to say.
I guess I'll go back. The first time that I tried it was like in 2016, 2017. I had my friend like, oh man, you gotta try this. And I'm like, okay. So I streamed basically most of Yarnum. Yeah, no, because Old Yarnum is the next place. I just streamed most of Yarnum, and then I got to the beast. I don't even know what his name is. It's a big dude on a bridge. I beat him, and I beat him on like my second try. And you know how everyone says like, oh, when you beat the first boss in a Souls game, that's when it gets you hooked. And I beat him, and I was like, I feel nothing, and so then I just dropped it from there. But then this was pre-Enlightenment, pre-Elden Ring, so now I am willing to give the From games a whole lot more just rope than usual. So I don't know, man. Well, I'll just keep trying, but oh man, Skyward Sword. How mixed I am on Bloodborne, it's going to be even worse for Skyward Sword, and I just keep going back because I'm so curious about it. But that's later. So, yeah, Bloodborne. I swear there'll be more streams out of 10.
Cool. All right, let's go from Bloodborne to Alfred Hitchcock and talk about The Lady Vanishes.
This man again. Oh my god, he keeps coming back to haunt me.
Yeah, do you want to just get your review?
That's it. No, that's it. I'm not saying anything else. We're done. We're done.
Yeah. So Mr. Hitchcock, 1938 movie directed by Alfred Hitchcock, The Lady Vanishes. It's funny. The first couple movies of the year I watched were all movies from like the 30s and 40s, and it just kind of worked out that way. I don't know why it did, but new movies anyways, not rewatches. So yeah, I decided to throw this on the Criterion channel. I'm off the whole movie a day thing. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm still watching movies on my days off from work, and I'm still going to the cinema quite a bit. I got a double coming up next week, but I'm not forcing myself to do a movie every day now. When I get home from work, I am gaming. Disgusting, I know, but that is the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, so this is from 1938. I really like old Hitchcock. I appreciate it a lot because it's very different. From The Lady Vanishes to something like Psycho, it's just night and day. And this is still enjoyable, even though I don't like it quite as much as his later stuff and kind of what he becomes known for. This is a lot more comedy in it. There's a lot of funny bits in it, but you can still, and it's more of kind of like murder mystery. It doesn't really kind of lean into like the thriller and the suspense as much as he will in later years. But yeah, for a movie made in the 30s, shockingly competent, really fun to watch, some good performances, and an interesting little story. So definitely enjoyed it. Didn't regret my time with it at all. It was a fun movie. So yeah, solid 3.5 out of 5. That's really all I have to say.
Again, I'm saying nothing, so we're moving on. After Sun. Hey,
Ah,
After
yes.
Sun. Uh, you know, considering how, you know, the subject being a father and a daughter, like, it's weird because I feel like I'm in a perfect cross section for this movie. That it feels like it should hit harder, but the problem is that I'm standing in between the 2 points of view for this movie, which is the father and the daughter, that it feels like if you were in one camp, I feel like this movie would hit way harder, but because I'm seeing both sides, I feel like I'm getting both sides of it, but it for some reason loses some emotional impact. It's still a very fucking good movie. It's still very effective. There's nothing wrong with it, damn it. I don't want this to make it sound like it's a negative thing or anything. It's just like in this perfect crossroad of either being a parent or a kid, I am right at the axis of this right now. So it's one of those things that can still see the child perspective and I can see the parent perspective. And to say more feels like it would be spoilers. It would require me to dive deeper into this movie, and I'll explain during spoilers. But I guess let me speak generally about the movie before we get there. The structure of this movie, the looseness of it is something that is ridiculous to behold because very early on it feels like, okay, what are we doing here? Why is this taking just so long to finally get into it? And I don't even know at what point in the movie it finally clicks, but when it does, you just kind of realize, oh no, this is the intention of the movie. It almost feels like it plays like, I mean, no, I can't say that. I, I'm not going to give my proof of what I can't. No, I need to dance around it. I'm going to just say half of my statement then, and I'll explain after in spoilers. But it feels like memories of the trip are what you're seeing more than anything else, instead of what actually happened, if that makes sense. Um, but besides that, the structure of the movie is just so good. It just all has this almost like tinge of dreaminess to it. And it's got almost like this looking back feel of where you want to reevaluate the small moments that you as a kid wouldn't think about. It's getting really hard to dance around this without spoilers. So all I'm just going to say is that this is just a quiet, contemplative, great movie. And I'll explain why I feel like if I weren't in this point in my life, I feel like it would have hit me harder. But again, that has nothing to do with the quality of the movie. This is just a personal thing. It's not even like me saying, "Oh, I would have liked it more." Like, no, I just feel like it would have hit harder. Like, I would have connected more, I guess. But even then, I don't feel like connect is a good word to use. So, Dorian, take me here before we end up spoiling stuff.
Yeah, no, After Sun's fantastic. It's so funny that I randomly just watched this movie. Like the fact that it even came to theaters near me was surprising because there were some bigger ones that didn't, but this one did come to a small theater that is a bit to get to. But they play a lot of these types of movies, and I wouldn't have even ever heard of it or known about it if it wasn't for Sam. I probably would have with all the buzz it got afterwards, but Sam was the first one to bring it onto my radar. And I saw it after Triangle of Sadness, and I was really excited for Triangle of Sadness, and I had nothing to expect from this movie. I ended up liking this movie a hell of a lot more than I did Triangle of Sadness, which was funny. But yeah, no, it's great. I agree with everything you said. Especially like I was the same way. The first like 15 minutes of this movie, maybe first 15, 20 minutes or so, I'm just kind of sitting there being like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work for me. Like, it's just, I don't really know where they're going with this format and what they're doing here.
The
And
smoking
yeah, I
scene,
don't
honestly, I just have to say that the smoking scene is where I was like, dude, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, and like you, I don't really know where it clicked either. I can't say, but it does,
Mhm.
and it just kind of goes and it works really fucking well, and it's really well made and well done. So I've talked about it in a previous episode before, so you can always circle back to that if you want to hear my thoughts. I'm glad you finally got a chance to watch it though, and appreciate it because yeah, it's very powerful, and it's unlike like a lot of things in cinema. It's very unique, so it's cool.
All right, okay, so both positive, fucking great, blah 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 blah. Three, two, one. Thank you, After Sun, for taking Under Pressure and replacing The Girl Next Door as my main touchstone of where I've heard Under Pressure. So, congrats, Aftersun. You have now become what I think of when I think of that song. Just, oh my god, that fucking ending with that song. Like, it is so fucking good. I love that scene so much. It's just okay, I guess I want to go a little bit deeper into the movie. The reason why I feel like I have to stress the whole cross section thing is like, so obviously the movie is all about the dad and how this man is slowly accepting through his depression that his life is basically over. Like, that's it. He's trying to do everything that he can to give his daughter a happy life, and it's pretty much like a here's the word again. It feels like they're at a cross section where the girl is I can't remember their name, so whoops, I apologize. The girl is only going
Sophie.
up. Sophie? Oh my god, that's such a great name. Whatever. Sophie is on the upswing of life, and she is just finding out about new things. She's finding out about boys and love and curious about all that. And then her dad is just completely fucking done. Like, what I meant with the whole little moments that you go back and reevaluate, the whole memories thing. I mean, the camera is a plot point. So her little camera that she's recording all of her trip with. So it kind of begs the question: is this just? I mean, no. Even at the end of the movie, she is watching the camera. So everything that we see, I honestly believe, is her memories intermixing with some of the footage that she is watching at the end of the movie. So through this lens, then that means that she remembers just how long he was out there with a cigarette. She remembers these kind of views of him standing over the balcony for a really long time and just looking like he was going to kill himself. We see that memory of hers where she talks to her dad about his old birthdays, and he just very just quietly just says, yeah, no, my life fucking sucked as a kid. And then you put that into context with the fact that this man, for his birthday weekend, is just having a terrible time. And then whenever Sophie disappears, this man just goes into the ocean. You're like, oh my god, this man is going to kill himself. Maybe my framing device doesn't work entirely, because how would Sophie's memories and how would the um video camera be able to know about what the dad is doing? Whatever, like, we just take creative licenses there. Okay, shut up. But yeah, going back again to cross section, because it's the word I keep using. Having a daughter means that I'm in between these 2 points where I'm still, at least if we look at all of this, I am still such an early dad that I still feel like I am definitely a child of my parents, but I am still here, at least in parenthood, that it feels like I can look at his end. So what I was taking from this movie more than anything else, even though he is so depressed and he absolutely kills himself at some point, I still loved this movie more than anything else, because the message I was taking out of it is that whenever you become a parent, you just throw yourself into the fucking grinder so they could have a happy childhood. So even though that ending, like, the good is very good argument for it being very depressing, it is something that is actually supremely uplifting to me. The idea that this man, even through his depression, is still trying to give his daughter just everything that he can. So yeah, I took something probably way different than most people did, and I'm kind of glad for it, because had I watched this at any other time, I'm pretty sure I would have taken something different. But as it stands, I love this movie, and even just talking about it right now makes me appreciate it even more. So yeah, After Sun, the movie's fucking great.
Yeah, it's a banger for sure. Shout out Paul Mescal for getting an Oscar
Absolutely.
nomination too. Did not expect it. I honestly thought it was going to go to Tom Cruise, which I wouldn't have been happy if it did. By the way, I think Tom was fantastic in Top Gun. But yeah,
He doesn't need it. He doesn't need
exactly, he doesn't need it. And this is so great for him, for his career. I don't think he has a chance in hell at winning it, unfortunately.
No.
But if he did win it, I would not be unhappy.
Oh my god.
So he was great. Like it's basically, if I'm looking at my favorite male performances of the year, it's him, it's Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin, and it's Brendan Fraser in The Whale. Those three were just fantastic performances, and if any of them took home the Oscar, I'd be very happy for it. But
This is not me saying that Colin Farrell had a bad performance. I would just say that if there's anyone that I'm rooting for, I would be rooting for him less than I would the other two, Brendan Fraser and Paul Mescal.
that's fair. The only thing I would say to that is Colin Farrell actually has never won an Oscar before or nominated, and he kind of deserves it. Like the dude's a fucking Chad. I agree though that Paul Mescal and but I agree though with those two, Paul Mescal and Brendan Fraser. You know, they might never get nominated again. Possibly. Brendan Fraser seems more likely too because he's obviously older. Paul Mescal's career is just beginning though, so we'll see where it goes for him.
That's what I hate, agree, man. These politicking ones, because
it's stupid.
If you ask me which one of these do I feel like I'd want to give it to, I'd want to give it to Paul because it is such a quiet performance and everything this man does speaks volumes, and I fucking love it. And while Brendan Fraser, this man pulls out some fucking depth in him in The Whale that none of us knew was there. None of us knew. Like, even the one scene that I don't even remember. I feel like whenever they announced the nominations, they had the one clip where he's just it's fucking perfect. It's great. Like,
you know what clip that one's getting.
Yeah. But you know, that's the thing. I if you know the clip, you know it. I don't want to explain it to you because the movie's great.
We talked about it in spoiler chat for that episode, so you can listen to that.
I can't believe you remember that. But Paul Mescal, like, you are right that like his career is so early, but I hate the politicking because like if you ask me which performance deserves it more, it's Paul. Without a doubt. But
no, I agree.
But you know, if Colin Farrell hasn't had one, what are the chances that Martin McDonald's like, let's make another one?
Look,
God damn it.
It doesn't matter. Austin Butler's gonna win.
I hate angry, son. If he wins, I am going to retroactively seethe for Rocket Man, okay? Because if you tell me that fucking Rami Malek can win for Bohemian Rhapsody, which by the way, his performance isn't bad. I'm just saying that movie fucking sucks, okay? So, like, you're gonna tell me that he can win it. You're gonna tell me that Austin Butler is gonna win for this, and then Taron Egerton for Rocket Man just gets nothing. Just gets fucking nothing. No. God damn. I'm gonna stop. You understand my C. There's nothing else I need to say that explains it. But yeah,
I understand your Steve. It's dumb, but I will see what happens. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, no, Aftersun, fantastic movie, really, really great stuff. And the only other thing I would implore you, Ed, while you're still fresh in this having a daughter phase, is please watch Eraserhead sometime soon, because I really need the Ed reaction to that while he still is somewhat fresh into parenthood, because I think it will be funny. No other reason.
2020 Academy Awards, the only thing that got nominated was Best Original Song. Not even a nomination.
Yeah.
No Austin Butler out of 10.
That's some good. Yeah. 8 out of 10, 4 to 5. Great movie. Just fantastic stuff.
Your turn. God damn it.
1 second. Sorry.
I'll go again. End of Evangelion. I feel like I'm a psychopath for liking this, but also whenever I watch it now, because I don't even remember the series that much, it just feels like it's a good insult for the rest of the series. So that gives me a good idea of why I like it. And it's also insulting the audience that really hated the series finale. So awesome. I have an explanation of why I like this, even separate from the series. Let's go. End of Evangelion. Damn, that's a good movie. A psychopath out of 10.
Okay, I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Oh, I spoke about End of Evangelion. That's fine.
Yeah, I know. I'm just fucking with you. I heard it all. End of Eva. Yeah, still. Eva still fucked me out of 10. That's all I have to say. All right. Yeah, I'll bang 2 out now. We'll start with a man called Otto. This was part of a double feature I watched with Missing, which I'll talk about later. This was directed by Mark Foster, or Forster, excuse me, starring Tom Hanks. Look, I'm just going to let the review I posted on Letterboxd speak for me, and that is emotional tragedy porn. That's what this movie is. It's just, I don't really like it at all. I think it's very mid. And I think the entire movie is just trying to be like, hey, like, do you want to feel something? Poke, poke, poke. Hey, do you want to feel bad for this grumpy old guy that has nobody, and his wife died in a horrible accident? Now you're just going to show you all this sad shit, and you're going to cry. Poke, poke, poke. And that is the entire fucking movie. I am stunned this movie is getting so many positive reviews. Tom Hanks is good in it. Like, he's solid. Like, he's a grumpy old man, and I think it's a good performance. But holy crap, this movie is a manipulative, and the ending is so fucking unnecessary and just stupid. So I was not at all a fan of this movie. I don't understand where some of the buzz and praise is coming for this from. Really glad it didn't get any Oscar nominations. Shout out Tom Hanks. I still like you. You're good here. But yeah, this script is horrible. And I did learn it was a remake from a European movie. So maybe that version's better. I don't know. And this was maybe a bit more Americanized. I'm not sure, but yeah, this sucked. This fucking sucked. I did not like this movie.
Okay, now considering how much you love your depressing shit, the fact that even you're sniffing out that this feels a little too heavy-handed, my brain goes, "Oh no, I am going to fucking hate this movie if I'm ever forced to watch it." And I say forced because I'm never going to watch it. That's my score. Never watching out of 10.
Yeah, don't watch this movie. No time to waste on shit like that. Okay, and then I'm going to talk about Infinity Pool. I actually just watched this a couple nights ago. This is the 2023 film directed by Brandon Cronenberg, starring the main man himself, Alexander Skarsgård, and Mia Goth. This is the follow-up to Brandon Cronenberg's Possessor, which is actually one of my favorite movies of 2020, and I think it's a fantastic fucking film. Highly recommend it. One of the most original, unique horror movies I've seen in some time. Infinity Pool's good. It's actually it bangs. I like it. It's not as good as Possessor. It does have some issues I feel with it. But I really like Brandon Cronenberg's style of filmmaking. It's very similar to his dad's, and I vibe with it. So I fuck with this movie. I think there's a lot of really cool imagery in it. It's a lot of fucked up. There's definitely an air of pretentiousness to it at points, which kind of it felt more in this movie than it did in Possessor, which is another reason why it brings it down for me. But I do like the overall message of the movie, and I think it does all make sense, kind of what they're going for. It's just kind of fucked up the plot line. It's very interesting, and what I really like about Cronenberg's in specific is their ability to just create unique and interesting worlds. And last year with Crimes of the Future, that really carried the movie for me. Just how unique I found that world and how I bought into it and those characters and kind of what was going on there. And Infinity Pool is kind of similar because you get this kind of wacky little sci-fi setup, and they don't really do much with it. It's more of the story of the characters and how they react in that world, but they still build a cool world to be a part of. And I really appreciate that because, yeah, the Cronenbergs are just really good at that. So definitely enjoyed the movie. It bangs, it fucks. It's just not quite to the same level of Possessor, but definitely worth watching, and I'm glad I did. So it's like a solid 3.5 out of 5 for me.
Cronenberg, that guy again. That's it. Like, come on, man. Like, how many times can I repeat myself? That's it.
To be fair, this is the other Cronenberg. This is his son. So,
like, oh wait. You know what? That family in general, okay? Is that better?
We've got a daughter too who's about to make a movie, so you're gonna include her in this as well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I can't wait for there to be an entire family that I just unintentionally ignore. I was about to say ignore, but that makes it sound like at this point I'm avoiding them. Like, no, I'm just win. Okay. I guess moving on from here.
I forgot to give a score to A Man Called Otto, by the way, 2.5 out of 5.
Okay. Was there another? Did you give this one a score? No.
Yeah, I did. 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. All right. All right. So my next one, I'm gonna go ahead and bundle that 70 show and that 90 show. So that 90 show, I'm just gonna say that this one, the show is, yeah. Now, okay. The reason that I say it like that is that think about all the big comedy shows that people like. The first season usually kind of sucks, right? But like you can tell that there's potential there. This one is kind of like that. You know, it's not that good, but it has enough writing to it, and it has enough chemistry between the characters that even if a line doesn't work too bad, it's it's fine. Like I just kind of like the way that these characters interact with each other, even if the jokes don't hit that hard. So that '90s show, considering everything with the way that Netflix handles itself, there's zero chance that. Well, I mean, actually, I have no idea. No, I haven't heard a single word. I have no idea if this show is actually making its numbers or not. But, give it another week and we'll probably hear Netflix cancel it because it didn't reach 10 billion people in the first week. But I would say this has potential to reach some, I guess, later seasons of that '70s show. And I'm not going to say earlier seasons because season one. Okay, this is just where I go back and forth. Anyways, after we watched that '90s show, my wife decided, okay, we're going to put on that '70s show, and that's going to be her show that she just has on in the background. That '70s show, the first season, yeah, no, it's not that good. It does have moments where it's like, oh, yeah, no, this is good. And this is actually funny, but there are just a good amount of moments that I'm not going to lie, I just kind of don't want it to get as serious as it does because I had completely just missed or forgotten or maybe never even watched. There's just so much of it that's spent with the '70s weren't exactly a good economic time, and so there's just a whole bunch of plot points of Red having a terrible time looking for a job, and I don't know, man, like it's a good indication of the time. I just there wasn't too much comedic opportunities from it. So if we could just kind of forget some of those, if there weren't so many, look at this, it's the '70s. I kind of more prefer later on in the seasons where it feels like the '70s itself ends up becoming a backdrop to everything else. And just every once in a while it becomes more of just teen shit that just so happens to take place in the '70s. But the first season feels like it leans heavily into the '70s. We got into season 7. I mean, that's like season 7. What am I talking about? Why did I say 7? We got into season 2 and it's a whole lot more funnier. It has a bit of a more. Oh my god, I just realized one of the things that annoys me in season 1. I don't like that there is like a fake love triangle between Foreman, Donna, and oh my god, the rapist, the guy who went away because there we go, Danny Masterson. What I keep wanting to say Fez, but I know that's not right. Hyde, there we go. Anyways, I don't like that Hyde is totally a friend, but he's constantly hitting on Donna. It's like you guys are a friend group, but Hyde is just constantly hitting on Donna. Like, that's not a guy you want to hang out with. This guy sucks. So, I mean, he's funny, but I mean, considering that Foreman is the lead and his friend is constantly hitting on the girl that he wants to date, it's like, why are you doing this? But, anyways, I guess to connect both of these more often. So, season 1, I'm kind of mixed on, but it still had the chemistry and occasionally good enough jokes where you could imagine in like a season 2 or 3 or 4, this show really starts picking up steam. And considering that there's only 10 episodes in the first season, I honestly, that's a thing, man. I feel like for sitcoms, you kind of need like a 20 episode run because through that writing, eventually you just sort of start feeling out who your actors are and you can give them material that they can specifically work off of. And I feel like 10 episodes a season is actually kind of short unless you come out the door already banging with some of this comedy. So it's a weird one that I feel like it's not even like by the third season you hit your potential. It might be for comedy shows. Yeah, after you write like 60 or 70 episodes, you really start understanding the comedy. So that '90s show, I'm kind of hoping it can get to a point where it'll actually be funny enough. That '70s show, we're still going to keep going through it. That's just a fun show. I'm probably just going to be repeating that statement every single time if I even bring it up, because let's be honest, most of the time that my wife puts on a comedy, I'm not really bringing it up. Do you want to hear me talk about Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Look, the final season was weird and it got very COVID-y and it got very Black Lives Matter. And it's like, you know what? I understand that you guys had a cop comedy show, so it'd be weird if you ignored it, but considering what you gave us, it sucks, so I kind of wish you would have just been canceled without that. There we go. That's it. So, yeah, that 70s show, good. That 90s show, potential out of 10.
Really, all I have to say about this is I was never a huge fan of that 70s show. I don't know if it's just, I don't know, the comedy just never really stuck for me. I watched a few episodes of it. I didn't really get much deeper than that. Love the intro though. Intro's
Oh,
iconic, and I
intro's
think
great.
that song, and the song bangs.
Hold
But
on. I forgot to complain about something. That
sure.
90s show uses the same song, but they kind of redo it in a grunge theme, and it's like, no. No, this is actually fucking terrible. Like, I actually hate the fucking intro. And actually, now that I think about it, season one's that 70s show transitions from scene to scene are fucking abysmal. I fucking hate the transitions of season one. The opening song of season one is fucking terrible. Thankfully, they re-record it for season two, and that's the intro that everyone knows. The transitions from scene to scene in season two are like janky and bad, but they kind of feel right. The first season's transitions are fucking terrible. But anyways, that 90s show, their scene to scene transitions, not bad. Those are fine. Those are just straight up ripoffs of that 70s show. That's completely fine. Most of the show is a ripoff of that 70s show, and that's okay. But I mean, that's honestly all it needed to be, because the idea of that 70s show is, here's a group of friends, here's the decade, let's go. Let's just keep going from here. But the opening to that 70s show is so fucking terrible, and I hate it because it feels like the actual music itself feels 70s. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like something about the lyrics feel like they belong in the 70s, and to re-record it in a grunge style feels so wrong. Like, I hate it. I hate it. I wish they would just choose a 90s song and re-record that, or like cut. That's the thing. I think that 70s show intro song, if I remember in the credits, it's based on a song like In the Streets or something like that. Take a big song, not even a big song, take a song that feels so 90s and do the same thing that you do with that 70s show. Just do that. Just do that. So, yeah, that's my bitching. Continue as you were saying.
That was really it. Just because of that, I just don't have any plans to watch that 90s show. So, yeah, I mean, that's cool if then Netflix has like a surprise decent show on their hands, but let's be real, it's about to be canceled. So
Yeah, no, it absolutely will be. They did not reach the required 25 billion new subscribers from this show. So,
exactly.
whoops.
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
Netflix suicide out of 10. That's
Perfect.
All right, your turn.
Perfect. Not watching out of 10. All right. Let's also, you did two. I'll do two now, and let's bundle the obvious two together and do them. So we're gonna do Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Final Fantasy VII itself proper. So, I decided to play Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core on the PS5. Did this right after GDQ. This is the reunion version, so this is the upgraded. This is the version with upgraded visuals, everything like that. What Square Enix is doing right now is weird. Like, there's like timeline videos, and you really got to look at all this shit because it's getting confusing now with the remake and how this is all fucking plotting out. But from playing Crisis Core now and having finished it, which I'll talk about that in a second, my assumption is, especially based off the ending and how they didn't really change anything, and kind of how there's some clues in like there's some clues in what it says afterwards. This basically is just a remake of the original Crisis Core, and it goes right into Final Fantasy VII OG proper, which is 1997. This really still doesn't connect to the remake, except for the fact of telling you the story of somebody that's going to come back and remake. Blah, blah, blah. Suffice to say, Crisis Core the story itself is really good. I like the story a lot. It's interesting. It's unique. And Zach's a great character, and it's great to show him off and kind of his story and give that backstory for Final Fantasy VII in general. The gameplay itself is fun. Really great. The combat is super crisp. It's not quite as fun, I think, as the remake, but it's still fun to play. And there's a lot of there's some good depth to the combat, and it's enjoyable for sure. The biggest problem with this game, though, is just how fucking dated it is, man. Like, you can remaster it, you can update it. It's still a PSP game, though, at its core. And that's going to come with all the negatives with it. It just feels very limited in scope. The animations in this game are fucking horrible. the dialogue in this game is some of the worst fucking dialogue I've heard in a long time, man. Like, it's just unbearable sometimes for me in this game. The voice acting, I already didn't really like the voice acting in Final Fantasy VII Remake, except for a couple of characters. It's worse in this game. So for that to be the case is just Jesus Christ for me. I just did not like that. So a lot of that stuff kind of brought down the experience for me overall, even though I really do like the story of Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core at its core. I think it's a great story telling that, and it is, well, it's going to be even more. It's weird because it doesn't tie into Remake, but it does, because like this is the prequel for Final Fantasy VII OG, and but it's going to be even more important for Remake because they're fucking around with it and changing it, if that makes sense. Anyways, the whole thing's so fucking confusing. But yeah, it's still, the story's great. It bangs. It's good to know who Zack is and everything like that. And it gives really good backstory for Final Fantasy VII OG at least. And it's going to be a lot more critical, I think, to know who these people are for Remake. So yeah, solid game, fun to play. I just wasn't in love with a lot of it. That's all.
All right, so Crisis Core. I totally played this on PSP. I want to say like 2009 or 2010. I remember liking it. I don't think that's accurate anymore, because another game that I very much liked on PSP was Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. And then I replayed that in 2018 or 2019, and I was like, wow, this is a PSP game. I want to fucking die because this isn't on the PSP. This is fucking terrible. So, hearing that this is just a prettified, I don't care if that's a word, it's a word now, it's prettified PSP game, my brain just kind of goes, oh man, I still have the other Steelbook. I will buy the game eventually when it's like 10 or 20, and because that's, I'm not going to buy a new game if I'm not going to play it immediately. But at 10 or 20, it's like, yeah, sure, you can stay in my cabinet and torture me over the fact that I'm probably never going to play you. Sure, why not? 10 or 20? Sure. And I still have the Steelbook, so when I buy the game and I have the Steelbook, I sell that shit for like $90 or $100, considering how rare this Steelbook is. Ooh, boy, we're going to be planning out for this one. But yeah, by the way, I would contend that what you said about Final Fantasy VII Remake is spoilers, but I am not going to do any editing, so I will just write it in the description.
Yeah, it might be, but that game's so fucking complicated, man. I don't know what's spoilers and what's not,
I
honestly.
could explain it, but I'm not going to.
No, I know you can explain it. It's just there's it just gives me a headache thinking about it. I know it is technically spoilers, but the entire thing is such a fucking headache. It's like, Jesus Christ, it's just going in so many different directions at this point now. Anyways, you're probably right. So yeah, just put a fucking notice in there.
Here's the thing, since I'm editing the description to say spoilers, I'm gonna go ahead and talk spoilers. The ending with Zack getting fucking destroyed by 5 billion men with guns.
Destroyed.
Fucking demolished. I don't know how this man isn't fucking Swiss cheese and still being able to talk, because this man should be sounding like, oh, because his head got fucking blown off by the goddamn AKs that those men were holding. Anyways, I don't remember what I was saying. I just wanted to say that. I don't think my joke was leading anywhere. No. Crisis Core. I'm scared of when I get to it because I'm going to be killing another game that I probably held dearly in my memory out of 10.
Fair enough. It's like a 6.5 out of 10 for me. And then that leads into Final Fantasy VII OG. So what that game accomplished was like, man, I really want to go back and play fucking Final Fantasy VII now. Because even at the end, I don't think this is a spoiler, but we already said spoilers, so fuck it. Even at the very end of the game, so they changed like the intro. Okay. Do you know how in Final Fantasy VII Remake you get the famous intro cutscene of like Aerith kind of bending down with the flowers? You know that whole thing?
Of course.
Yeah. So it's if you take a video comparison of that and compare it to the OG Final Fantasy VII, it's different. Like, they've changed some things. In Crisis Core, they actually they redo that shot, but they make it more similar to the OG Final Fantasy VII, if that makes sense. And then it basically says right after that, continue the adventure in Final Fantasy VII, not Final Fantasy VII Remake. All that to
Okay,
be said.
I'm just gonna go ahead and explain it a little more. The
Sure.
idea is that Aerith somehow, who already has knowledge of all of Final Fantasy VII, that Aerith who has all the knowledge of that is a different point of time. No, never mind. If I say that, that gets really confusing. Let's just say that the Aerith of the beginning of Final Fantasy VII Remake already knows about everything in Crisis Core and Final Fantasy VII. There we go. That's the easiest way to say it.
Correct. Anyways, that and I agree with that. That makes sense.
Yes, I agree.
Anyways,
She knows shit. She absolutely knows shit in Remake.
no shit for sure. But anyways, the whole point is Crisis Core is clearly just saying, hey, this is still the prequel to the OG Final Fantasy VII. Here you go. So Final Fantasy VII itself, I was like, well, now I really want to fucking play this again, because obviously I haven't played this game since I was a fucking kid. But this game holds so many fucking insane memories to me. So I've been slowly replaying through it on my Steam Deck. The plan is I will just pick it up and play it for like maybe an hour every other night, or in between big releases when I need something to play. And that's kind of what I've been doing with it. I love the game. I think the game's fantastic. It still holds up incredibly well for me. I'm sure so much of that is nostalgia, but I don't give a shit. I love the game nonetheless. Yeah, man, it's great to me. It's exactly what I want right now, and it's a perfect side game. So it's a long game. It's gonna take me a while to beat it. I don't know if I'll mention it every week I'm playing it, because I don't know when I'm gonna be done it, but I'll definitely talk about it again once I finished it. But yeah, no, I really enjoying my time with it so far. It's a classic. And I would, if I can at all possible, like get it finished before, well, and I think I should be able to get it finished before Final Fantasy VII Remake 2. What's it called? What's the subtext for it?
Rebirth?
Rebirth, or whatever the fuck it is. I want to get it done before Rebirth, which Square Enix is coming this year. I'll fucking believe that shit when I see it, but we'll see. But yeah, I want to get it done before that, so I can be really fresh going into that and be ready for whatever fuckery they do in the next chapter.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy VII, man. I don't even remember if I even talked about this game at all. I don't know. But anyways, let's just start more recent. I've gotten not even outside of remake content in Final Fantasy VII, just base game. It's on my Switch. Honestly, the thing that keeps me from going back to it is, like, I know I can just play that game with cheats, but I would want to mainline that game just hard. Like, I just want to get through the story. I'm fine. But that's counterintuitive, considering that I'd want the characters, and I know that's side questing. But also in that same vein, I don't want to play that game naturally. I just want to be pointed in a direction so I can get all the content that I need story-wise, get to the end, and then be done. But I also don't want to play this game with a walkthrough just standing by. So that kind of like freezes me in time for being able to play it. I tried it multiple times. One of the earliest things that I did on PSP was hacking a PS1 copy of it on there. And it was like, whoa, it booted it up. It actually worked. I'm not playing this. I just needed to prove that it booted. Yay! So then I installed it on my Vita, and then I was like, oh my god, look, it's installed, and then never did anything with it. And I want to say that me having it on the Switch is actually the closest that I've gotten to playing it properly. But even then, it doesn't feel right, because, like, man, I really don't want to deal with this game, and I'm pretty sure at some point I'll have to grind. So fuck it, I'm just going to turn on triple speed and turn on infinite limit bursts. I don't want to deal with this. So it's a game that it's like I would be playing just for the story and the actual information that's in it, instead of actually playing the game. So my brain's like, well, if I'm doing that, wouldn't just a YouTube video kind of cover it? So yeah, Final Fantasy VII, I should really play you, but I am kneecapping you so hard at every direction where it's like, is it even worth me playing you? So yeah, I'm so sorry, Final Fantasy VII. Music bangs though. That's my score. It's music bangs out of 10.
Dun, 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 dun. All right.
God, that fucking battle music, you hear that, it's just like, yeah, I want to fight. And then you get one shot and you're like, god damn it, I don't want to fight. Turn on limit breaks.
True. All right, your turn.
Okay, golf with your friends. This one's gonna be a very quick one. We got some friends. We got Moki. We got Herb, we got Poot, we were hanging around, and what do the boys do when they don't want to be gay and kick up their feet and be talking on the phone? You play games, so it's a whole lot less gay. So we played golf with your friends. It is a Game Pass trash game that, it lives up to its title. Yeah, golf with your friends. It's physics based. It is actually kind of fun. It's perfect for this. It's perfect for I want to talk with the boys, but I don't want to be seen as gay. So you just golf with your friends. Golf with your friends. Who knows if I'm ever going to talk about it? Maybe if the boys want to play again, but that's about it. I don't know if there's much to say. It's physics based. It's golf. You got Game Pass and you got some friends. It's perfect. Golf with your friends. You get what you get out of 10.
Yeah, it sounds horrible. I got nothing.
But here's the thing: the golfing, it's got a little bit of jank to it, so that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, the chortles that can be had with the boys for sure.
That is true. That just makes life worth it. That's it. That's all I got. Your turn.
All right. Fuck social. Being social out of 10. Yes, fuck socializing out of 10. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Dead Space. Just because I'm not that far into it, so I'm going to talk about it more next week. But yeah, playing the Dead Space remake, the 2023, obviously, just this released year from Visceral. No, not from Visceral Games. I mean, it was originally made by Visceral Games. Rip Visceral. This is obviously made by Motive Studio, the wonderful Canadian EA studio. They are taking the torch here for this game. And so far it bangs, man. It's really great. It's a remake, obviously done with an incredible amount of care. It's not perfect yet though, or it's not perfect so far, I should say. I'm still not completely sold on the decision to make Isaac a talking protagonist, which is weird for me. I usually do like the talking protagonists more, and I feel it's more cinematic, obviously more story based. But there was something just so creepy but kind of cool about Isaac just being this really quiet engineer dude who just fucked things up. And he doesn't like chatter during gameplay. It's not like, oh man, I should really try slice off their limbs. That could help me out here. It's not a Sony classic game. He's not going like that. But he is talking in cutscenes and progressing the story. So it's not bad. It's not ruining the game or anything for me. I'm not like that. But it's just an interesting change, one I'm not fully on board with yet. But it's not bad. Everything else though, man, the game is fucking gorgeous. I am playing in the very cinematic 30 frames per second 4K with ray tracing mode. It's the first ray tracing game that's made me go, ooh, it's pretty. It's really pretty because everything's so fucking dark and the way the light shines, it's fucking gorgeous in this game. It looks stunning. So they did a great job with all of the visuals here. The gameplay still feels really good to me. Like, I don't know how much they've actually changed since the original version. I did play it. It's been ages ago though. But it feels great still. Like, it's great. It's a unique spin on the survival horror concept because you still have your inventory slots and everything like that, but you're trying to hack off limbs instead of just go for headshots. So it's definitely very different. And you curb stomp everything you walk on because you never know when the jump scare is coming. So it's great. It holds up incredibly well, maybe even better than when it first came out. And I can't wait to play more of it. So great stuff so far.
Dead Space has beaten the allegations. I will be playing this game at some point. I'm going to say $30, maybe 40. Maybe I crack even sooner at 50. I don't know. I'm not really planning this, but Dead Space has piqued my interest in considering that it is a short jaunt of a game. It makes me think at whatever price point I get it at, it will probably become priority. I don't really know at what price I'm looking at. The problem is it really needs to be a game that I'm like, I need to play this now for me to do full price again. So Dead Space, I am happy that you were a good remake and I don't have to go to the PS3. I almost said go back to the PS3, which is a lie because let's be honest, I like going back to the PS3. I would have had no problem with going back to the PS3. But it's there. Sure, why not? I can not use a DS3 for it. That's okay. That's fine. So yeah, I will get there out of 10.
Excellent.
That's my turn.
Your turn?
Majora's Mask is here, but I want to push that up. Actually, no. Let's get this out of the way because there's going to be a lot of words, I assume, here. So let's get the dick sucking out somewhere where we still have time instead of me rushing at the end. So Majora's Mask. All right, now this game. I've been playing it since 2019. It was definitely pre-COVID. It was definitely while I'm still going into office. What I would do is that during my lunch break, because I don't want to talk to my coworkers. Who wants to talk to their coworkers? Just leave me alone. I don't want to socialize. Just So I would go. I'd find like a little corner to go hang out with, and I would just play Majora's Mask. And oh my god, Majora's Mask kicks so much ass. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. Okay, I've been playing it on the 3DS, so maybe it doesn't exactly apply, but I still feel like it kind of does. Which is that for Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, the way they look on N64, my brain has kind of fixed it so they don't even look old to me. The way that my brain now looks at it is that, oh, this game is just a paper mache art style. I don't exactly know how it works with my brain or anything like that, but now whenever I see it, it looks kind of like a fairy tale. Like it looks like paper mache, and I'm like, oh, I kind of dig the way this looks. So, in that same vein, Majora's Mask, with me already looking at it like that and considering just how still kid friendly it can be, but considering how dark and twisted it touches, it's one of those things that it makes me really like it because it reminds me of when PG-13 didn't exist and you had movies that were PG that were really fucked up. Because, like, just imagine Temple of Doom and that guy just ripping out another dude's heart out, and it's like, oh, that's PG, huh? I don't know if kids should be here. I mean, Indiana Jones never drops the F-bomb, so I don't know if this one should have gotten an R, but there should definitely be something there. One of the biggest mistakes ever is introducing PG-13, but that's a completely different thing because it takes away from the art, whatever, and that's a completely different thing. I do love Majora's Mask because I love that dark tone it touches. Oh my god, I dig it. I love the music and how it's infected with that. Just every single piece of this game feels like it is it's not accurate, but there's something about the desperation in this game. It almost feels like, oh yeah, we're the sequel to Ocarina of Time, one of the games that's considered one of the greatest games of all time, even at the time of release. And we have to create a sequel in a year to that. Ah! And that feeling is kind of what I can sense in Majora's Mask, and that's what I dig about it. It feels like there's just this desperation and sadness to it, but it never feels like it's falling into the minutia of that depression. It just sort of feels like we kind of have to do it, so let's keep going. And I love it. I love it. Now, the thing I have to mention is that this game, I really left like 4 or 5 hours left in the game. When I booted it up, I went to go check how many hours I've had in it. I had like 40 hours into the game. And when I got back to it, my thought process was like, oh, I'm going to come back and there's probably going to be a couple of side quests that I still need to do. Nope. No, I finished every single side quest. I got every single mask. There was only one mask that I was missing that isn't required to get the final mask, which is the Fierce Deity mask. So pretty much I had gotten all the side quest masks, and there was only two main story masks that I hadn't gotten. And I was like, oh man, I just need to beat the game. And I did. And damn, man, that thing is fucking awesome. It actually kind of makes me sad that I did. Here's the thing, I wouldn't take it back because this seems like the best way for me to play it, because I would lose so much motivation if I beat the game and then went back to do all the side quests. So I'm still happy I did all the side quests before beating the game. But with that all said, it made me sad that by the time that I got to fight the Majora's Mask, I was so OP that I intentionally had to not use the Great Fairy Sword and that I didn't use the Fierce Deity Mask. It wasn't until like the final phase that I'm like, oh, no. I want to use these because it feels really cool at the moment to use them. But yeah, Majora's Mask, this game is fucking awesome. I love it. Considering that the 3DS is, like, it's just that's it. That's it. The 3DS is the final line of Nintendo handhelds. And it's cool because when you hack it, you can get pretty much everything from Game Boy all the way to 3DS on there and DS. Like, it's fucking perfect. But that being said, that's it. That's the line. So at this point, it needs to get ported over to the Switch so it has at least a better, I don't even know if better form is right, because the 3DS remake, I think it's a good remake, and considering how stupid I am, I feel like it works best for me because the booklet that they give you in game, the Bomber's Notebook, is so good at tracking everything that I was able to solve most of the side quests myself. That I'd say it was like about the final 20% of side quests that I had to look up a guide to do. But like, I did a majority of them, and that made me so happy because without that book, I would have completely forgotten. I would have not been able to keep track of anything. I'm an idiot. I'm glad that thing was there. But I do know that apparently the bosses are way less dynamic in the 3D remake than they were in the original. So I'm not going to say, oh, we need to have the best version ported over to the Switch and that's the way that people play it. I just want both options to be available to people instead of needing to go back to the N64 version. And if they're stupid like me, it's like, oh, yeah, so this guy passes at 10 a.m. on the second day. And then you come back the next day, you're like, oh, when does this man pass by? I should have kept a goddamn notebook for this, which, not a bad idea. But considering how stupid I am about being able to stick to a game and just stick to it, like, my memory is not good. Even if I stick to a game, I'm not going to remember stuff like that. So, yes, Majora's Mask 3D, great. Awesome. I rearranged my list of favorite games. I'm going to go ahead and read them off. But the main thing that I have on here that's changed is that Majora's Mask has now been moved to number 9. It was already on my list of favorites even before I did the final 4 or 5 hours, just because I knew I loved the entire tone of the game. And I'm pretty sure the ending wasn't going to really change the tone and make everything I had played up to that point retroactively bad. So, anyways, the top 10: Nier Automata, Journey, Metal Gear Solid 3, Shadow of the Colossus, Elden Ring, Red Dead Redemption 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Nier Replicant version 1.2, Majora's Mask 3D, Uncharted 4. So, Majora's Mask 3D, I fucking love it. And honestly, if I ever think about replaying this game, I might do the N64 one, and it might just be a mainline because I'm not doing all the side quests again without my book because I'm an idiot. So, yeah, Majora's Mask 3D, fucking loved it out of 10.
Yeah, Majora's Mask, long been one of my favorite Zelda games. Excuse me. And N64 games overall. It's really, really, really well made. I think it's just like you said, it's so much darker than any of the other Zelda games, and just the kind of that feel of, you can really definitely feel that they had to crunch the hell to get that one done.
Yeah.
And they managed to make such a masterpiece out of it. I still like Wind Waker more. Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda game, but Majora's Mask is not far off that. In fact, you talking about it just in the Discord over the last couple of weeks, it's really made me want to find a fucking 2DS or 3DS XL just so I can play that fucker again, because it's such a classic game. And just, yeah, it's just incredible stuff. So yeah, just heap all the praise on that. That's back when I loved Zelda. That whole time period of Ocarina of Time into Majora's Mask into Wind Waker. There's just 3 tremendous fucking games that I love and appreciate so much. All 3 of those games for different reasons. And even Twilight Princess, which was never my favorite Zelda game, but I still like it. And it was a really good one too, at the end of the day, even if I don't quite hold it in the same affinity as those other 3. So yeah, no, it's Majora's Mask is phenomenal. It's a must play. And I think what they managed to do with that game, and especially they overcame a mechanic that I fucking hate so much.
Yeah.
In the time constraints and the time shifting. I fucking hate that shit. and they still managed to do a good job with that and make me appreciate that. So that was really cool.
If anything, in that same vein, just mentioning the time mechanic, I love the first 3-day cycle. I love it because the tone that it hits, you genuinely feel like the moon is going to crash on you. You know it's not, because, it'd be fucking wildly insane if it would be a Yoko Taro ass move to be like, yeah, this video game that you bought, it's 10 minutes long, but these 10 minutes longs are going to suck. They're going to fuck so hard that you're going to think this is awesome, but you're still probably going to complain because, like, shit, I spent money on this. Why is it only 10 minutes? Imagine if Majora's Mask literally ended after the first 3-day cycle. That'd be fucking insane. Okay, but what I was saying was that first 3-day cycle, when you can't go back and you fight Majora's Mask and you fight Skull Kid, and the moon crushes you, and it's like, no, hold on, we have the time. We have the Song of Time. We can go back. It is so fucking awesome those first 3 days, because it is the most prescient that you feel the entire game. And then afterwards, it's time management, and it's like, oh my god, okay, I'm kind of worried about all this, but what I'll say is that those first 3 days are so fucking cool in the game that later on, it's one of those things where it's like, I would not want that feeling the entire game, but just punching me in the face with it very quickly makes me love it. And then it quickly becoming you making time it's your bitch. It's awesome. I love it. Oh my god, I love it. Also, another thing that I specifically have to shout out. Shout out to the wedding side quest. That side quest is fucking awesome. Oh my god, I don't want to say anything about it, but like, there is so much love and effort put into that one that when I found out later on that the developers were making that side quest, they made that side quest because they went to another developer's wedding, and I don't remember what it was. I think they were all like completely stressed about development time. They're like, man, why are we here? Like, we have to get this game out. Why are we wasting our time here? And I think they came to the consensus. They're like, well, I mean, we need a break. We need at least a little bit of happiness, even though this is over our head. And they're like, oh my god, put that in the game. Put that in the game. We're having such a terrible time developing this game, but we're still here happy. Oh my god, put that in the fucking game. And they did. And it translates perfectly. It's awesome. Another thing, shout out to the day 3 music track in Clocktown. The way that the music speeds up and it has these little undertones underneath it. Oh, it's so fucking good. But especially shout out to the final 6 hours in Clocktown, because the music shifts and it's suddenly terrible, and you get to visit every single, well, you can if you want to, but you visit every single person in Clocktown, and all of them are like, oh, we're going to fucking die because the moon has an evil face and it's going to destroy us all. And I love it. Oh my, Majora's Mask, fucking out of 10.
It's pretty dang good game out of 10. I'll agree there. It's a solid game.
All right. Now, your turn. I have 4 left.
How many do I have? 1, 2, 3. I have 5 left. Okay. And we share 1, so there we go. Okay. Since you just sucked off a game profusely, allow me to suck off a game profusely, and we're going to talk about Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is the 1997 banger from Konami on the PlayStation 1, that their entertainment system. Yeah, this game. So I've never played this game. This is one that has missed me throughout the years. This is one that I feel like I should have played when I was a kid and have that crazy nostalgia for, but I don't. So I played this for the first time. I loaded it up on my deck. I finished, what was it? Virtue's Last Reward. I finished that slightly early before the end of the marathon, so I was just not going to play anything and wait for Crisis Core, because I was like, yeah, Crisis Core soon. But like, you know what? Let's fire up Symphony of the Night. I have it emulated here on the old Steam Deck. Give that a shot. And I ended up playing it until I finished it. This is such a special video game. It's incredible. It's the best Metroidvania game I've ever played. The only game that even comes close to me is Super Metroid. And I feel like even Super Metroid, I love Super Metroid, but I feel like some of that's nostalgia, and I think this is just flat out better. This game is just fucking brimming with secrets. It's brimming with just fucking replayability. There's so much to find here and to discover by yourself. There's so many cool little tricks you can do and things you can, shortcuts you can find, and it rewards you so much for exploration. The fucking cheesy ass voice dialogue is great. Like whenever you get the fucking, what is a man but a miserable pile of secrets? It's fucking fantastic. It's hilarious. It's just so good. The combat is fun. I mean, it's not anything fucking in depth, but the boss fights feel great and they feel so much fun to play. Considering this game was made in 1997, they made the perfect choice for art style because this art style still holds up so well and is fucking beautiful. I'm already a sucker for like the gothic kind of look, but it's just so fucking painstakingly like animated and well done in this game, and it holds up even today. And this is just a tremendous game that's nearly perfect. I have a very strict rule that I don't rank games before 2000. I feel like I have to have a cutoff point at some point. Otherwise, I'm going back. I'm trying to dig through nostalgia and figure things out, and that gets a little bit more difficult for me. But if I didn't have that rule, this game would be in my top 10 games of all time, and it absolutely is. It's just not going to be on a formal list. But I fucking love this game. I think it's spectacular, and it's really like, I no shit, like this is a stupid thing to say, but this is a Metroidvania genre defining game, and of course it's in the fucking name, so duh. But yeah, it's just what this game managed to do for that genre is nothing short of incredible, and every game that has followed suit in that genre since then should thank Castlevania. Because this was just tremendous shit. And it makes me sad that basically IP is basically dead now thanks to Konami, because I want to go back now and play some of the older Castlevania games, and Rondo of Blood's there too, which is similar style to this, although way harder, I've heard. And I want to touch on those one day because this was just such a fantastic experience for me.
Hey, everything I said about Final Fantasy VII, about how I would install this game and be like, "Oh my god, it runs," and then I just never touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Swear to God, I'll get here at some point. I swear to God, I'll get there at some point. Oh my God, it's on my PS3. It's on my PS TV. It's on my Vita. I swear to God, I'll get to this. I even installed the one Game Boy Advance game that people are like, "Oh yeah, this is the one that came after. That's the best one." So oh boy, Castlevania and Metroid. I love your genre. I should at least read the original text at some point. Yeah,
I think
that's it.
I think that's what's so cool about this, specifically the Metroidvania genre, though. I feel like those games more than any are equipped to hold up over time too, because just the concept and how they're laid out usually, and
Mm.
how the art style works for a lot of those games, I feel like they can hold up really well.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think it's proof in the pudding from Super Metroid, which would have been like 94, I think around 93 or 94, and Sympathy of the Night, which was 97. These games, they're not gonna they're not gonna really feel bad ever, man. Like it's just
Yeah.
incredible what they managed to do with that game. And it's so incredibly unique and special. Playing through this game was just a joy. Like every little thing I discover, it never felt boring to me. You always felt like you were exploring something. I only really used a guide a couple of times. Like I knew I had to get certain items to find the true endings, so um I did that. I used the guide there, and then I was having trouble finding a boss at one point, so I used a guide there. But other than that, like I let myself just explore and find things naturally, and the game's really good at that. It's not too confusing. You can always kind of figure out where you're going at some point, and even if you're not going the right way, you're probably going to find something worthwhile by exploring, whether it's a new, maxed health potion or
Mm.
more magic. Like there's always something waiting for you if you explore. So
And that
just
is the mark of a good Metroidvania.
yeah, absolutely. And it's just tremendous. So definitely enjoyed that. When and I've always been very hit or miss with Metroidvanias, but when it's like that, it hits so fucking hard for me. Ori kind of did the same thing to a lesser level, but I really do like Ori too. And I still gonna give Hollow Knight a shot at some point. I have no idea where I'm gonna land on that fucker, but I
God,
guess we'll
neither
see.
do I. I almost feel
Yeah,
like maybe if the atmosphere pulls you through, and considering like Cuphead is right there, so like 2D hard for some reason can work for you.
Yeah,
So
no, for sure. So I can hard will I can deal with hard, but something else has got to pull me. If Cuphead, a lot of it was I love that the animation style and the gameplay was just super fun to me. If Hollow Knight can give me atmosphere, that's a big one. It's a fucking big one for me. I'm a big fan of atmosphere and being drawn in that way. So we'll see. It's definitely on my list to do now. And Sympathy of the Nights, like bumped it up a little further probably. So yeah.
Symphony of the Night, I'm so sorry. Metroid Dread, Metroid Fusion, I'm so sorry to all of you. I'd probably play Hollow Knight before I play you guys because I need to have trophies to prove that I'm a real gamer. Out of 10. Okay.
Perfect.
My turn. Drive. Drive is on the shelf. I bought like a $90 steelbook. I finally bought that nice one from Hong Kong. I ordered using some money that I used from selling stuff to buy Drive in 4K. I rewatched it. Damn it, man. This movie's a fucking vibe. Oh my god, I love the music. I don't even know if there's that much I can say about it because I feel like we've talked about it before, right? Yeah. And also I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
we've talked about it at least a couple of times already.
yeah, so like Drive, this movie is just uh, there's a term that with having recently watched some Tarantino movies that effortlessly cool. If you can hit effortlessly cool, oh god, thank you. Thank you. Anytime you can do that, I love you. So yeah, I don't know. For some reason I just feel like I don't know how much I can say about it besides, yeah, this is good. Damn it. This is the wheels are falling off moment right now. But yeah, Drive fun, it on the shelf. Big dumb.
No, I think we've talked about it a couple times before. So, like, I know I watched it, and then you rewatched it before you sent me the steelbook. So we've definitely already talked about this movie a lot. It's a fantastic movie. Ryan Gosling is just fucking cool in his little jacket. Yeah, I mean, watch this movie if you haven't. It's great shit.
God,
8 out of
okay,
4
well,
to 5.
I feel
It's great.
bad. I'm so sorry, Drive. We've given you enough justice that we can kind of screw you over here, I guess. Okay, I got 3 left, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna like you said, we're gonna share that last one. So
Yeah, so I still got 4. So we're bouncing back and forth. Still pretty good. Talk about The Third Man. So this was directed in 1949 by Carol Reed, starring Joseph Cotton Valley, Orson Welles, and Trevor Howard. This movie's pretty famous. It's a pretty famous movie. Really, really well regarded. It's fantastic. I totally understand it. Again, we're talking about movies that are way fucking ahead of their time. This is definitely one of them. Really interesting story about a guy who basically comes to visit his childhood buddy only to find out that he is dead. And he starts getting not crazy, but starts feeling something's up because it was supposed to be an accident, supposed to be hit by a car, but there's accounts that there was a third man at the scene of the crime
oh
and no one has
my.
accounted for him. So really good stuff here, man. This has got one of the most famous introductions. It's unfortunately been spoiled for a lot of people. It's never spoiled for me. I watched this, I was like, oh my god, that has got to be iconic. I googled it after. Sure enough, it's pretty fucking iconic. Turns out it wasn't just me thinking that. And I'm glad I wasn't spoiled on it because it's such a fucking cool little thing. Hold on. My Google Home's going off for some reason. I'm not sure why. Google, shut up. Google? Google? Are you done?
Google.
Fuck off.
Google, shut up.
It was bizarre. That thing likes to go off on its own sometimes. It's kind of creepy. Anyways, yeah. So this was just a great fucking movie. It's so well made. I'm actually very salty because this is somehow even more rarer than the Rosemary's Baby Criterion. Like this Criterion is so fucking hard to find. It's outrageously expensive, and this sucks. This would have been an easy grab for me. So hopefully they get a reprint on it one day or it shows up somewhere else because I would definitely like to own this one for my collection. I feel like this is just a classic. So really great movie.
Mm-hmm. I already forgot what you were talking about. I'm stupid. What was it?
Third Man.
Third Man. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. All right. Cool. Awesome. Third Man. God damn it, man. What? watch it at some point. Hey, Maltese Falcon, you're over there too. Out of 10.
It's a good movie too. Yeah, solid movie.
God damn it, man. Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah, I've done. I think the chapter breaks are technically called tracks. Yeah, you know what? This is a fun game. I'm a big okay, though. At least I'm gonna go ahead and go deeper into it in a certain direction. Watching the Xbox thing, whatever, live stream, something. Immediately this game turned me off, and I still, even after playing the first track, I still kind of don't like the way it looks. The best way to describe it is that, I mean, I don't think you've seen this, but maybe other people have seen where a show is trying to look 2D, but then it makes a movement and you can tell it's 3D. And at least for me, it's super jarring whenever that happens, and it bothers me. And this game is just, it just has that look the entire time. It just has that look of like, oh, it's a 2D and then it turns into a 3D. It's like, eh. And it kind of bothers me, but also the music in this game fucks so hard, and just I guess even not even pace is the right term, because it like, I guess the moment to moment in this game feels so good because the music is driving everything. And if there's anything that we know about me, it's that I am super, like, I am just such a whore for music. So this entire game just being about the beat and the music just is speaking to me, which is why I will get back to it. As you can see, there's a lot of games that I'm playing right now, and it's like, oh man, just oh man, just I don't know, man. My focus is really split. But again, there's a game at the end here that I'll talk about that is, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just throwing. Wait, how many things do you have left? Not including Tar?
Two more.
Two? All right. Well, fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and throw Skyward Sword in here, and I'll just segue right into that. But Hi-Fi Rush, I want to get back to it. I even moved it over to like the theater room setup. I knew immediately when I started this game, I knew it was going to be very musical, so I decided I'm going to play this on the theater room. I'm going to play this with the sound system, and yes, it's very good. I want to get back to it. The combat is fun. I suck at this game. I just don't think I have enough rhythm to play it, and I try to play it with rhythm. I try to hold up on my attacks, and every single time I'm scoring like 40 or 50% with attacking on the beat. I'm like, well, I kind of suck at this, but I'm still having fun. So yeah. Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah, that's a fun game out of 10.
Xbox.
You know what? It'll still come to PlayStation at some point because it's good. There we go. Fucking nailed it.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm really excited to play this game myself. I think it's going to be next after Dead Space. I'm going to get it for Steam Deck, I think, and yeah, I think we're going to play it. So it looks fun. I simp for Tango. I really like Tango. Evil
like
Within's
Tango
fun
too.
series. I still have to
like
play
Evil Within
Star Tokyo. I haven't yet, but I'll play that at some point. We'll see how that one goes. That one seems to be pretty mixed, but I do like Tango. So if nothing else, I do want to buy this game and support them. So I will buy it, and I will probably play it after Dead Space. But looks fun.
Tango, good times. But now I'm gonna go ahead and segue over to Skyward Sword. Y'all thought I was mixed on Bloodborne? Who boy, you ain't seen nothing yet except with Skyward Sword. All right, Skyward Sword. Oh my god. Okay, so Majora's Mask. I'm talking about how much I love the tone of it. Honestly, just it feels like everything is going back into the theme of the game. Skyward Sword feels like it is trying to tell a story. And look, man, I like me some Zelda. I'm kind of digging the idea that they're like, no, we're gonna focus a whole lot more on the story. And I gotta say, this Link is only matched by Wind Waker Link by how expressive he is. And it's very weird. Like, okay, so Link, still not voiced. You have a couple of dialogue choices that are pretty much pointless, but whatever. It was 20, when did that game come out? 2011 or so? Look, man, Mass Effect was big, okay? So, like, you gotta have your dialogue choices, whatever, doesn't matter. There's sections where he is moving his mouth, but he still has no voice. But I don't like the idea that Link actually speaks. I just kind of prefer that every character just kind of looks at Link, and just from reading his face is like, oh, you told me this entire 10-page story about what's been happening so far. And I just kind of prefer that. I don't know. But beyond that, his voice for almost everything that he does sounds so much more outwardly expressive that it's like, oh man, Link has always been a character, but he's like much more of a character here. And I still think that Wind Waker might be the best example of Link as a character, even though he doesn't say a word. Zelda, I like that she is way more present in this game instead of, oh, I'm here, Link, go save me now, I'm gonna go get kidnapped now, bye, I'll see you in 30 hours. Like, I like that she is present so far. I like that their interaction. I like that she's basically girl next door. I have a crush on you, teehee, about Link. I dig it all, right? Now, the motion controls. Man,
I'm getting hard here. I'm getting horny here if you're going to be shitting on motion controls.
This is fucking weird. That's the thing, man, because like I've been playing this now for 3 days, okay? The first day I was like, oh, okay, this isn't bad. Yeah, the swinging, yeah, I can kind of get used to this. But there is a huge drawback, right? While I'm playing the game, what would be square? I'm not gonna figure out what is X or Y. I don't give a shit. Okay, I've got a Series X behind me, and I have a Switch behind me. Okay, I don't know what X or Y are. I don't know what A and B are. Shut up. Anyways, whatever square would be, there's a dedicated button to resyncing the controller. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh no, is this going to misread my actions often? The answer is yes. So pretty much now, before I get into any encounter, I start pointing the right joystick at the TV. I hold square to recenter myself to make sure that I'm not dealing with any bullshit. I started doing that on the third day. So the first 2 days, I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with these controls? Eventually, I started understanding how to do that, but oh my god, the first and second day, the flying is dog shit. I hate the flying. Oh my god, why can't you just let me use a joystick? So much of Skyward Sword feels like it is like, oh, well, we need to justify the Wii. We need to justify that we're making a game for this. And like it doesn't justify it. But you want to know what's the other problem? This game was so from the fundamental ground up designed to use motion controls that even using the joystick one, at least the moment that I used it for, I use it specifically for the sword combat, and the sword combat does not feel good with the joystick. But here's the thing, the flying pissed me off. The combat, though, I didn't get it the first 2 days. I get it today. So the fucking enemies just always block your attacks, and it's like, oh my god, what am I doing? I fucking suck at this. And then I just started thinking, wait a minute, they have a sword vertically? Oh, well, that just means that if they have a sword vertically on their right side, I can just attack them from any other side. And once that clicked, I was like, oh, okay, never mind, I'm having fun now. But it feels like the motion controls are shoehorned in, and it's like, you don't need to do this. This is so dumb. There are better ways to do this. I hate that most of the menus are motion controlled. It's like, why are you doing this? You could have just done both. You could have done motion control, or you could have done joystick. But hey, it's the Wii, so we gotta justify it. It bothers me because it's like, the sword fighting is good. The sword fighting is actually good. It's fun. Once I understood it, I'm like, oh my god, I get to swing a sword. This is fucking awesome. And then there are moments where it just loses sync, and I have to resync it. And I'm like, I have to use this little beetle to cut strings, and it's like, I hate aiming this thing. I hate flying this thing with a Joy-Con. I hate it. But then I have a boss fight at the end of the first dungeon that is just a straight up sword duel. And I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I want more of this. And then there are more moments where the motion controls piss me off again. But then, You can bowl the bombs. I'm going to repeat that. You can grab the bombs and you can bowl them. And then I immediately thought, holy shit, this might be one of the greatest additions to a video game ever. So, this has now been 3 days. I don't think I'm going to play more today. I'd like to, but I don't think time is going to allow me because I'm recording. That basically takes up most of my free time. I'm so conflicted with this game because it feels like so often this game is pissing me off as much as it is impressing me. I'm going to keep going, but the fact that I keep jostling back and forth between these makes me think I'm probably going to get to the end of the game with this complete feeling of like, oh, you're pissing me off, to, oh my God, this is fucking awesome. And just back and forth and just back and forth. And I'm going to get to the end and I'll be like, yeah, that was the worst Zelda game. I kind of wish they hadn't designed it with motion controls. And then in that same breath, I'll probably say, but I could bowl a bomb and I could sword fight. So, yeah, Skyward Sword is in my brain right now. It is gnawing at me and just it's been taking up my time because I want to finally get to a final consensus. And I feel like what I just said is going to end up being my final consensus on this game. But at the very least, if I get to the end, hey, cool. I knocked out another Zelda game. That's out of the way. And I think that might be the last major 3D Zelda game that I haven't. Yeah, no, this is it. Yeah, because Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, and then whenever Tears of the Kingdoms come out, yeah, like I'm pretty much done with 3D Zelda. And after that, I'll probably do Link to the Past, then Link Between Worlds, and then Minish Cap. So yeah, this is one I just need to get out of the way, and I am happy that it's not completely terrible, and I'm happy that it's not just a good Zelda. And the reason I'll say that is because it's the formula, man. Like Zelda formula is good, but I can't overstate that Breath of the Wild was a good move for the formula, because like the formula since Ocarina of Time, you had kind of that same formula of here's the forest, here's the lava, here's the water, and then that's your temples, and then some big moment happens, you get more dungeons. Like I like the formula, but I like Zelda too much for it to be stale. So, Skyward Sword, it is the last one of the formula, and it probably will be for a while. So, it is just a weird game that I need to knock off the list at this point. So yeah, Skyward's. Oh wait, hold on. Music fucks. Absolutely, undeniably. There's no question about it. There is one thing that I can praise endlessly, which is the music. The fucking orchestration for this is perfection. So it actually is kind of weird that like this game in 3 pillars, right? The story, the music, the game. The game is like, oh, what am I doing here? Oh, and then other times like, holy shit, I'm in. And then the story, it's like, I'm kind of interested in where you're going here, and the music is completely fucking just like so. This is gonna be such a weird game, and I feel like because I don't know where I am with it now, makes me want to keep playing it. So yeah, Skyward Sword, probably the game out of everything that I've mentioned that I'll probably be pushing harder than anything else I've said.
Yeah, fuck this game. I think it's well documented how I'm not a fan of Mr. Fubiasha here.
I can't believe you actually remember his name. Like every time that I see his name, like I know for a fact you're copying and pasting that shit. Everything while I was saying, you were like director Skyward Sword Breath of the Wild. Yeah, that guy. Let's throw him in Google voice so I can hear what his name sounds like. There we go. I'm not gonna fuck it up.
Look. This basically we are at the height of my I hate Nintendo era here. I had just gotten off of the GameCube era, which it's very popular. Like I like the GameCube. I think it's incredibly overrated, but I do like it. I think there's some good games on the GameCube, and it's still enjoyable. But then the Wii came out, and I'm just like, man, this fucking sucks. Like this is a horrible console. I'm sorry to design. I already don't like motion controls. You design a console around this shit, and you have some good ideas and some good games that are just fucking handicapped by this. and I probably played like I did not finish Skyward Sword. I probably played like 10 hours of it, and I just dropped it because I fucking couldn't with these controls. I think they're fucking horrendous. I think, and it just, for me, it was like, this just does not feel right. But at least that was a traditional Zelda game, unlike what was to come after, which we'll talk about that eventually. Anyways, I just can't fucking stand it. So yeah, no, I Skyward Sword can fuck off. And yeah, that's, I mean, yeah, that's all I gotta say.
All
I
right.
don't like it. Yeah.
I was gonna say something, but I don't remember anymore. But yeah, Skyward Sword. I'm just glad it's not outright bad. The only thing I will say is that like it feels like whenever a new console has to have a game that uses every single gimmick, it's like, dude, you could have scaled back on this. Like, honestly, the sword fighting would have been enough. If you just did the sword fighting with motion controls and then every once in a while aiming, that would have been good enough. But then every single thing that isn't the sword fighting, it's like, why did you motion control this? I wish you hadn't done this. But then bowling a bomb. So it's like, God damn it. But that one, you should have kept that one. You know that meme of like Mr. Krabs kicking everyone out, and then he points at someone and says, "And except you," and then the clown smiles. That's what the bomb bowling feels like. So, Skyward Sword. God damn it. That's all I got. You go ahead and go for your last two, and then Tar.
Okay, so let's talk about the latest entry in the searching universe, and that's Missing,
Oh yeah.
the 2023 film directed by Nicholas D. Johnson and Will Merrick, starring Storm Reed and Joaquim de Almeida. So yeah, this is not really a sequel or anything to Searching. It does take place in the same universe, though, and it is the same people that are behind the first movie that are behind this one in terms of writers and stuff like that. Um, I mean, look, if you like Searching, you're going to have some fun with this movie. I don't think it's quite as good as Searching, but it's still really great. And I really had a great time with it. Lots of good little twists and turns in it, stuff I wasn't expecting. They take the concept from the first one of a father looking for his daughter and kind of flip it and have a daughter looking for the mother, which allows for some interesting scenarios. A couple of twists in there, I was just like, yo, what the fuck? Really didn't see him coming. They kept me on my toes the entire time. So yeah, it's just a fun ass movie. If you haven't seen Searching with John Cho, I think that was in 2018, I believe. Really great movie. Went under the radar. Although I should say went under the radar, but it actually did really hit the box office. So I don't know if it did, but I still haven't, like, every time I ask somebody, like, have you seen Searching? They're like, no. So I still think enough people haven't seen it. Very great movie. Definitely recommend it. And yeah, watch Missing too, because it's nearly as good. It is a good quality movie, which I wasn't expecting. I was like, man, why are they doing another one of these? But it's very smart and it works really well. And yeah, I'm all in on the Searching universe now.
Honestly, the gimmick of just working off of screens feels like an idea that you can just do endlessly as long as they have like a good framework to throw it onto. Like, no, sorry, that is the framework. As long as they have a good story to throw into that framework. So, yeah, no. I am going to watch this eventually. The problem is that I've been feeling very lazy and I don't really want to leave the house. So, I'm sorry, Missing. I'm glad that you made some of your money back. I helped you with Searching. I was there. I would help you get a sequel, goddammit. Don't you start giving me shit. So, yeah, when you hit a streaming service, perhaps I will watch you out of 10.
Cool. Next, we got the uplifting comedy Schindler's List. This was in 1993, directed by
What a fun
Steven
time.
Spielberg, starring
that
Liam
old
Neeson,
chuckster.
Ben Kingsley, and Ralph Fiennes.
What a fun time for the entire family.
Oh, yeah, this is just a great movie to throw on at Christmas time and have a good laugh.
1000%.
Yeah, no, this movie is fucking horrible, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, horrifying. Not horrible. It's a masterpiece, obviously. First time watching it, this is definitely Steven Spielberg's best work. One of the best movies I've ever seen, man. This is so good. If I'm making a list of like great movies that I never want to rewatch, this is probably at the top of it, or very close to the top of it. Just spectacularly done from everything, from just the camera work to the performances to the script. It's just perfectly done, this movie. And there's just no way Spielberg ever makes anything as good as this. Like, I love the Fablemans. I think the Fablemans is incredible. Like it more than most people, but this is still better. This is just phenomenal. It's earned its place in history. I mean, it's number 21 on the Letterboxd fucking top 250 list, almost top 20 there. So it's widely regarded as one of the greatest movies of all time. I think it fucking swept at the Oscars and won pretty much everything it fucking could, deservedly so. And yeah, I mean, it's Schindler's List. It was great to finally knock that one off my list. Fucking movie was what, 3 hours and fucking 10 minutes long. Didn't feel like that. I was just glued to the screen the entire time. Tremendous film.
All right. So this is another one of those movies where it feels like I'm not qualified to speak about it because it is that good, and it is well known that it is that good. So anything I say feels like I would be repeating words that other people have said worse. So all I say is that Steven Spielberg is the World War II GOAT. I don't understand how much World War II content can come out of one man. But this man on his resume has Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, and Band of Brothers. This man is undefeated, and there is nothing about this man that will ever be defeated. Go ahead and do whatever the fuck you want with cinema, because after 1993, you don't need to do shit ever again, Steven Spielberg, okay? You're good. You're done.
You're not wrong. Fucking Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in the same year. Jesus Christ, man. It's quite the double feature. But
Kino out of 10.
No. Yeah, 5 out of 5. Scorsese, cinema at its finest. Just tremendous stuff. Like Ed said, I'm dumb. I can't offer anything better than the conversation that anyone with a brain already has. Tremendous movie.
All right. You want to know what else is cinema?
Tar.
Not video games. Not video games, that's for sure. Tar. Let's go. My God, let's just get this out of the way. This is a great movie. Cate Blanchett deserves whatever award she gets, because I don't know who else has gotten nominated, and whoever they are, I doubt they would deserve it. Even the nomination, they don't deserve it. They should have just nominated Cate Blanchett 5 times, okay? And then still, the Academy would still fuck up and like somehow give the award to someone else, even if she was nominated 5 times. Anyways, Tar is incredible, and it's not even a movie that's like just hard anchored by a great performance. It is just everything about this movie that is just shot perfectly. Like everything. Oh my God, I loved being very cognizant of how most of the camera was moving, and the ending just is a fucking jaw dropper, and it's hilarious. Oh my God, it's perfect.
So
good. Yeah, Tar, great, phenomenal movie. That's all we'll say, because like I know I want to go into spoilers. So your turn.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this once, obviously, surface level, because I hadn't seen it yet. I double featured this and the Banshees of Inisherin, so fucking great double feature movies.
Ooh.
But yeah, this is a tremendous movie. I just rewatched it before recording. It holds up incredibly well. Cate Blanchett, look, I loved Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. In any other year, I would say give her the Oscar. Unfortunately, Cate Blanchett just decided to make a fake ass person real, and that's all I can really say, because her performance is fucking incredible. And like now, I think you understand where I was coming from with the whole, when I mentioned on the Tendies episode, Brendan Fraser had to do a little bit more with his performance. He didn't have as much to work with. Tar is a fucking tremendous movie. Don't get me wrong. She embodies Lydia Tar and is absolutely incredible in that role and makes this movie. But the script here is so good and smart. And this is just such a fucking phenomenal idea for a movie that's just... I could shower praise on this movie all year. This is like top 5 movie of the year for me. I think it's incredible. But yeah, we can go into spoilers. Like you, I'm incredibly positive on this movie. Must watch. One of the best movies of the year.
All right. Best actress in a leading role: Cate Blanchett in Tar, Ana de Armas in Blonde, Andrea Riseborough in To Leslie. I'm pretty sure no one's ever actually seen that movie. Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, I'd happily eliminate the ones that I've seen here for Cate Blanchett. I'm sorry, Michelle Williams, I didn't see you in The Fabelmans. You're the only one that maybe, but also doubt.
Look, she was really, really great in The Fabelmans. I I'm more surprised. Like, I mean, Angela Bassett's kind of got Best Supporting Actress locked down, I guess, too. But Kate Blanchett so has Best Actress locked down. I think you would have had a better time campaigning her as Best Supporting Actress, and they probably should have. But her performance is really good in The Fablemans too. Like, I loved her, but Kate Blanchett's just on another fucking plane for the female nominations this year. She's so fucking good. Like, it's just stupid.
By the way, what you said about her playing a fictional character, yeah, no, I was totally convinced in like the first 20 or 10 or 20 minutes. I'm like, is this a real person, huh?
Yeah.
Like, is this a real person?
That's how good it is. That's how good she is. Like, you really, like, you want to Google it and be like, wait, Lydia Tarr, who was this?
No, I was just like, dude, I can't believe it. Like, this woman out here, like, COVID ruined her times. Like, what's going on here? And then I get further, I'm like, oh wait, no, she's not actually real. Wow, this is actually. I don't. We're gonna go to spoilers. 3, 2, 1. If you're a parent and you're listening to this, I wholly recommend to start diving for your phone or whatever. Finding out that Kate Blanchett was like Lydia Tarr was not real was on the same level as finding out that Santa wasn't real. Like, I was like, what, huh? Like, I felt heartbroken. I was like, I thought this was a real person. She's not. I want to hear her composing, though. Which reminds me, the movie cucks you the entire time. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I just want to hear her compose. I was so ready for the end of the movie to just be like 10 minutes of her composing her ass off. And I'm like, oh my God, yes.
Monster Hunter.
Oh my God. I love the fact that the end of the movie is like, yeah, Lydia Tarr was at the top of her game. Now she's composing Monster Hunter World music in Thailand.
I was just sitting there in theaters, just slack-jawed, and I like kind of let out like a ha. That's all I can do. It's like, it's incredible. It's so good.
But dude, it's considering how fuck video games we've been for what feels like a year now. This felt so fucking good. So great. My God, every video game needs to be turned into a TV show to be like, we're respectable too, god damn it. And just seeing this movie come out of nowhere, one of the movies that's getting all these nominations comes out and goes, yeah, but you fucking suck, video games. This is the bottom of the barrel time. It's like, oh, you're giving me life here. You're giving me life.
Yeah. I love how complicated this movie is, though. There's so much to it. Like, it's examining cancel culture, but it's not just about that.
And it doesn't feel like it would be a right-wing thing where it feels like it would be super annoying of like, oh, by the way, COVID is fake. Like, I'm so happy that there's like an actual level-headed look at cancel culture instead of immediately someone politicizing it.
Exactly. No, you get a good look at that, and then you just get the look of this like woman who's like, does she deserve this? Does she deserve, like, she's obviously a kind of a shitty human being, you know, but the actual, like, the clip that gets her canceled is bullshit. Like, it's absolute bullshit.
I mean, so it's it had to be that even though that clip is bullshit, that, and she pissed off enough people that a lot of them are like, yeah, it's not real, but we're gonna use this to take her down.
No, that's it. She just had so many enemies that already didn't like her in the first place that was the fuse that lit the fire, and it was good enough to get her fucked, basically. But yeah, but she was sleazy. She was terrible. She was a bad person. Like, she, like, just the fucking her relationship with the fucking Russian girl that comes in later, the violinist.
I mean, she was so cheating, right? She was so cheating, right?
Oh, of course. Well, she was trying to, but I don't think the Russian would give her the time of the day. That was what made it so funny. But she had cheated on her wife multiple times before. She had the three-way relationship with the girl that killed herself and her other assistant.
Stupid. I did not catch that.
Yeah, I mean, they don't say it, but I think it's pretty fucking clear that there was something there. And she basically, it sounds like the one that killed herself got a little bit too attached.
Okay.
And wanted more.
The way that I was interpreting it was more like, considering that they showed like the little blurb of like whenever she killed herself, I think she said like she was 25 or something like that.
Right.
The way I was reading it is that, considering that she was so young and considering how much praise they were giving her, and then considering that that Lydia was like burning her to every other orchestra, I kind of thought that what it was is like, Oh, well, I mean, the movie kind of makes like such a big point about her being like the first woman to go across all of these orchestras and being able to conduct them and blah 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 blah. And then they're like, oh, and took her under the wing. The way that I kind of interpreted her is that she's like, oh, hey, you're gonna be so much better than me at some point. I need to ruin you. I can't let you ruin my legacy here. Like that's the way I read into it. I don't know why. I think maybe it's just that I was living in denial the entire time about her actually being like every other great artist where it's like, yeah, I'm just going to fuck everyone.
Yeah, it definitely could be a bit of that too. Like it probably could have turned to spite afterwards, and well, it definitely did turn to spite, and her trying to
Yeah.
just Lydia fucking over every opportunity she had. But I think for me, it's pretty clear because, she starts to do it again with the Russian girl, or at least tries to. Like, it's very
Yeah.
clear she wants something more from there. She starts granting her favors, which she gets really mad at that one guy. I don't grant people favors. Well, no, you fucking do.
Mhm.
But yeah, she's obviously trying to get in her pants. And then shit just starts completely going down. And it's just, which I love that whole bit because the Russian girl clearly could not be less interested, and is basically using that to her favor just to try to get a leg up on
Legend.
some of the other competition. Absolutely. But yeah, no, this movie's tremendous shit. Like I think it's sitting at fourth place right now for 2023, which just shows you the ridiculous quality of movies in 2023, because this would probably be easily second or third. I don't know. I really like Spencer too, but this would definitely slot in at 3. So it's just a tremendous movie, and boy, good shit. And Kate Blanchett, I cannot heap enough praise on that performance. She was so good, so good.
Every single time she's composing, she looks like there's a fucking demon in her, and I love it. And just every single time she's composing this music, like it'll just forever kill me that I won't get to listen to a Lydia Tarr concert. Just ugh.
Oh yeah, even with her being canceled, like I would go fucking see a Lydia Tarr concert,
Oh,
even if it was some shitty video game, man. I would go to that shit just to
oh
hear
no,
her
no.
music.
I mean that's the thing. No, I don't know if I'd go to a Monster Hunter World one. Like I don't know, like hand her the Near soundtrack. Yeah, I want to see how you interpret this shit. But like, I hate that I'm taking this joke way too seriously. I would want her to take older music that I don't know and the way she interprets it instead of music that I would already know and how she interprets it. So but yeah, oh my god, yes, she's an absolute fucking maniac there. And oh my god, actually no, talking about that scene that like they recorded and reclipped to make it seem like she was saying some heinous shit. Dude, that scene being basically one shot and the camera just following them, that was the moment where I was thinking this movie's like, oh, so that's what this movie's gonna be. Most of this movie, nothing's gonna happen. It's just gonna be mostly dialogue scenes, but the acting performances and the delivery of it all and the way the camera just dances across this entire conversation, this movie's gonna fuck hard. And it did. Oh my god, I'm so glad it did. This is probably top 4 for me. It's hard for me though because like I don't like I know Top Gun Maverick is my number 1. Undoubtedly. There's nothing that's touching that. But I don't know where to square how I feel about Avatar, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Tar. Like Tar, without a doubt, across all 4 of these movies, is better than all 4 of these. It is. But I really like Top Gun Maverick. I don't know if I like Everything All at Once and Avatar. This is like I can't square it. But the good thing is that I'm not in charge of making lists or sending nominations, so I don't have to care about ever solving that problem. But Tar, god damn it. Like it's hard to state how much I love that ending. Like it is that's the thing. Now that I learned about how the ending of Boogie Nights is supposed to mirror Raging Bull, this totally did that too, right? Like this totally had Lydia Tarr in front of a big mirror and psyching herself up, except this time we get to see how fucking depressing it is what she's doing. Actually, no, we see how depressing it is in the other movies. This one just holds a little extra beat before you see how depressing it is.
I feel so. I agree. I agree. It's definitely like when you look at it from our perspective, it's depressing. I will say though, especially compared to Raging Bull, like Raging Bull, it's pretty clear that he's cooked
Oh,
at this
it's the most
point, right?
depressing one out of all 3.
Absolutely. Lydia Tarr though is such a fucking monster that I don't doubt she fucking probably kills these stupid video game concerts and somehow gets back on top. I don't know. I took a little bit
See,
more
Mel Gibson's it?
positivity. I take a little bit more positivity out of that ending just because
Yeah.
she's so fucking determined and fierce.
Yeah.
I bet you she rocks that, absolutely fucking destroys that shit. And you could tell she's still putting her everything into it and she
Yeah.
still gives a shit. I don't know, man. She probably ends up back on top somewhere. Like she's just fucking determined as hell, and for all her faults, and don't be wrong, she's a shitty person, but she really fucking, she's got a lot of willpower.
Listen, man, if Mel Gibson can come back, then anyone can come back, okay? So, like, yeah, Lydia Tarr, she will be fine. She will definitely come back. But the thing is that I love that ending so much that I don't even want to think about it being a happy ending. I just want to think, fuck video games, goddamn right. Cinema.
Yeah, true. True. That's all we need to think about. Fuck video games. Yeah, fuck them.
My score is cinema over video games every single fucking time. I'm so sad I put pixels in the title of this podcast out of 10.
9 out of 10. And just one final note. I am playing Dead Space tonight. I'm very excited to play more Dead Space, but I'm doing a double movie day tomorrow over more gaming and cinema, because I will always value cinema's contribution, even if I'm not doing it every single day. Fuck video games.
By the way, you remember how I told you that there was like almost a 0 chance that I'd watch Tar? To explain it to you, I was gonna watch. I'm so sorry, Poot. I was gonna watch House of the Flying Daggers, but it wasn't on the Criterion Channel anymore. So I said, well, that was gonna be the next movie I watched. Guess we're going to Tar since I saw it on Peacock.
Shout out to Poot getting cucked at the end of the episode.
I'm so sorry, Poot. Poot, I am considering yo-hoing at this point, just because I don't want to make you sad. That's it. I don't know. Is there anything else we need to say in the episode? That's it?
Nope, that's it.
Perfect. All right, end card.
Hey, look at you. You got to the end of the episode. From episode 0 to the day that I finally get lazy and cancel the show, a big thank you to Joey Rawlings for providing the perfect name for the show. Be sure to always give him thanks, either out loud as you're listening to this, or you can just send him a thank you tweet at boogeyman117_. That's boogeyman117, IE instead of Y, double O. Be sure that it's an underscore, not a dash, 117.